How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Affiliated to this paper, I need freedom from my family line. Draw my life design up like fine art. I'm jumping off just an unfamiliar coordinates. Hopped off the porch like I could touch the sky. Red is not one trillion. The ism talk the water out your faucet. Look at me flossing, I'm so wavy I could change the tide. My intuition sense the hatred in your ways. You imitated forging lines, claim meaning means that's just to justify. Yeah, right. Westside boy, maritime. Creole baby, my bloodline. My lungs clouded, my thoughts crowded. Say all I see is these dollar signs. Finna make a play and that sound delay. On mamas, I testify. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Game recognized game. I'm from the Bay, okay, I'm versatile and my slang is different. I'm lane switching with the same people that I came up in this thing with. My head swivel, I'm homebound, got a target back on my backside. The cat peeling with the cast iron, better run for it, run before I catch you. Niggas out ball it, block it, trying to stop my blessing. Gamble with your life, don't bet it, don't bet it. They can't stop my blessing. You do best not to test it. Yeah, you right. Real all in my blood supply. Dig it ball up top, finna make a play. I cast a lob like I'm Jalen, baby. No co-signer, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. If I say it twice, then I meant it right.
My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission, it's a dollar sign. You know, co-sign and no co-pilot. They pip-tiles, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission, it's a dollar sign.
Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right, so shout out to everyone who is in the building early. It is good to see each and every one of you. If you can hear me okay and everything looks and sounds good on the screen, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you cannot hear me or things look and sound bad, please give me a thumbs down or angry face. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody who is in the building early, all right? Shout out to Karen Dorsey. What's good with it, Karen? We definitely appreciate you. Make sure y'all show Karen some love for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes.
And shout out to my man Carlton Wade. What is good with it, bro? All right. So we're going to talk about some things, all right? Addressing the title, the dollar and your job are done. Now, we're making a nice archive, right? We're making a nice archive of all of the companies, all of the cities, all of the entities that are saying that they're starting to decrease the amount of employees that they have. This is an ongoing thing. It's happening day after day after day, week after week after week, month after month after month. What does that mean? It means a lot of things. It means a lot of things, right? Next, we're going to talk about some interesting trends that central banks are doing. We're going to talk about some interesting trends with the US dollar. Next, we're going to talk about more mass Bitcoinization. More mass Bitcoinization, because by now Bitcoin was supposed to be at zero, right? But the only thing that keeps happening is that zeros keep following behind the one, right? I don't know what's up with that. We're going to talk about Ripple. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love. Brooklyn Queen dropped an article about the Ripple IPO. And we're going to talk about Circle. Shout out to Carlton Wade, because Carlton was talking about Circle, and he said that the Circle price has cooled down, which I would not disagree. The Circle price has cooled down. However, there's some implications that we have to look at with Circle, because it's going to heat back up. Now, mind you, right, when I told people to buy Circle, it was $30. It was $30. We're going to talk about somebody who did buy Circle. All right, we're going to talk about somebody who did buy Circle. First, we're going to talk about Springfield, where they're eating the cats. Springfield aims to trim city workforce by 30 employees via $25,000 buyout offers. City manager Brian Heck says Springfield is looking to, quote unquote, right size our workforce to address current economic conditions and decreased revenues. Why is the revenue decreasing? Why are revenues decreasing all over the place, ladies and gentlemen? Shout out to Carlton Wade. I tried, right? But you know how that goes. You know how that goes. We're going to be dealing with a lot of you know how that goes going forward, right? The city of Springfield is offering employees a chance at a $25,000 separation agreement if they agree to leave their jobs in an effort to right size the government agency's workforce. When they say right size, again, what does that mean? Right size. Shout out to AB Promotion. Right size. Sounds like a woman being disrespectful to you, huh? You know what I'm saying? You're just the right size. You know what I'm saying? Not what you want to hear, right? Employees who have worked for the city for at least 1 year are eligible to apply, and applications will be accepted starting July 1st. Springfield City Manager Brian Heck said. The city will make the payout to a maximum of 30 applicants based on Heck's discretion, and he said mass exits will not be allowed from any single city department. As we look to quote unquote right size our workforce, isn't it funny? You know, they come up with these terms and they come up with these phrases, right? We're going to quote unquote right size our workforce. Well, if you have a bunch of talented employees, isn't your workforce the right size as it is? No. Right sizing means that the workforce has to be the size that's appropriate to generate the desired amount of revenues, right? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all throw some like enforcers in the chat for Brooklyn Queen enforcing the likes. Definitely appreciate it. And also make sure y'all throw some flames, some radiation emoji, some ducks in the chat for Brooklyn Queen for providing one of the articles that we are going to take a look at. Shout out to my man Cameron Jones. What's good with it, bro? So as we look to right size our workforce to address current economic conditions and decreased revenues, we're looking at creative ways to achieve these goals and reducing our workforce while continuing to provide the core services to our residents and business community, Heck said. Now, again, right, this place is downsizing their workforce without any artificial intelligence intervention. Yeah, facts. Shout out to Carlton, right? Carlton said right size is a soft way to say y'all getting fired. Right sizing is a soft way to say you ain't got no job, Craig. Yeah, that's what right sizing means. Okay. So now here's my question. What is the plan that people have going forward to defend themselves, to preserve their wealth, to preserve their purchasing power from quote unquote right sizing going forward? Let me know what the plans are. Okay. Making a $25,000 separation payment to each of the 30 employees would cost the city $750,000 in the short term, but city government could gradually make up that money and much more if they are paying fewer employees going forward. Okay, so at this point, this workforce is not going to increase. Okay, shout out to my man Prometheus Returns. What's good with it, bro? Prometheus Returns said, what's up, Rob? I still got my XRP, still holding, but it's getting harder to live day by day in this economy. Wages suck. My day job sucks. Yo, that's facts, bro. That's why we do what we do. Shout out to my man RT the Brand. What's good with it, bro? Welcome. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is facts. If you guys can relate to what Prometheus is saying, give me a thumbs up. If you cannot, then give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said the plan is to acquire assets. I see that storm is coming. That's a fact. This is why I asked the question, and I want to know what you guys think. Is Bitcoin the 2025 version of Noah's Ark? Because you remember the story of Noah's Ark. Noah tried to tell all the people, hey, get on the boat. And it was more animals on that boat than there were people. More animals on Noah's Ark than people. They don't really talk about that story in terms of that. Let me ask you this question. Would that make animals more intelligent than humans? Shout out to RT the Brand. RT the Brand said 2025 Noah's Ark is a good analogy. I appreciate it. Noah was trying to tell everybody, hey, get on the boat. All you got to do is just get on the boat. No one got on the boat. Very few. All the animals that they wanted on the boat got on the boat. None of the people did. Interesting. Once applications are accepted, the city will evaluate where to, quote unquote, strategically allocate resources throughout the organization, Heck said. The city approved a budget for 595 full-time employees in 2025, which is higher than last year, but a substantial decrease from previous years. Okay. One department that could see an impact is the Springfield Fire Rescue Division. Do you guys remember when the migrant crisis was hitting New York City pretty hard? If you guys remember that, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, then give me a thumbs down. Remember the first thing that they were cutting was the schools and the essential services? Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said, how did he feed 2 million animals and clean up all the poop for an entire year? How did his groceries last that long? Where did they get drinking water? Yeah, those are all great questions, right? Those are all great questions. I guarantee you that there's absolutely no one that can answer those questions. Right? I guarantee you there's absolutely no one that can answer those questions. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll be the first one to tell you I can't. You know, but you guys know my stance on that. You know what I'm saying? Me and Cameron, we share a stance on that. You know. Shout out to RT. RT said, never thought about that. Yeah, you know, think about it. Yeah, shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said, the Lord provided. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, why are you asking questions like that, nah? Why are you asking questions like that, nah? Hey, you know, they said we got to ask questions. So we got to ask the questions, right? We got to ask the questions. So in 2026, 19% of the workforce will be eligible for retirement, but they can continue working for 8 more years, King said. He said the fire department does not expect a negative impact from the separation agreements, but rather sees it as an opportunity to bring in some newer employees. The city currently has 3 jobs for hire listed on its website: a lateral entry police officer, a neighborhood services manager in the community development department, and a federal program specialist also in the community development department. All right. Also, July 1st, the city will begin an agreement with the Regional Council of Governments to outsource municipal income tax collections to the Regional Income Tax Agency. This change led to 6 city jobs also being eliminated. You guys see this? This change led to 6 city jobs also being eliminated, but the city previously said some employees could move to other jobs within the city. Now, you know, a lot of these people are dependent. A lot of these people are dependent on these jobs to feed their families. And a lot of these people do not have a backup plan. A lot of these people do not have a quote unquote nest egg, right? A lot of these people don't even have a 401k. Let me ask you all this question. What percentage of the United States population is living paycheck to paycheck? Anybody got any figures? Let me know if anybody has any figures. Now, why am I saying that? I'm saying that to say this. How many people have been paying attention to the New York City governor's race? They're about to vote in an actual socialist in New York City as the governor. Let me ask you all this question. How do you think that that's going to go? They're going to vote in New York City, the Democrat candidate that's leading, that Andrew Cuomo dropped out running against. That person is more far to the left than Brandon Johnson. Yeah, shout out to Karen. That's a great guess. About 75% of the United States population is living paycheck to paycheck without a clue. Okay, so Springfield is, you know, dealing with cat eaters, allegedly, right? And Springfield is also dealing with a budget crisis. A lot of places are dealing with budget crisis. Like I said, we're coming up with a very good, very thorough library, a collection of evidence that a lot of places are doing mass downsizing. Oh, yeah, the mayor. I'm sorry. Shout out to AB. Yeah, that's the mayor. You're right. Absolutely. Now, how many people heard about this? dollar hits 3-year low. Here's what it means for precious metals. Now, you know, just off of some of the things that we've talked about, I'm curious if the dollar is hitting a 3-year low, what does that mean for precious metals? Gold, silver, what's that mean? Let me know what you guys think. Probably it means something similar to what it means for Bitcoin, right? What does a weak dollar mean for gold or silver? What does a weak dollar mean for Bitcoin? The US dollar is undergoing a major technical breakdown, a highly bullish development for commodities, especially precious metals and their mining stocks. Okay? We've talked about this relationship before. How does this relationship go? For the past couple of months, I've been warning of a likely breakdown in the US dollar, an event that historically signals a bullish turn for precious metals due to their well-established inverse relationship. We've said this before. When there's weak signs in the economy, scares, macroeconomic turbulence, commodities and precious metals always move opposite. Yeah, shout out to Cameron. Cameron says Bitcoin will surge. Facts. So will gold, more than likely silver also, right? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to everybody watching too. If you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor, take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. That breakdown is now unfolding as I had anticipated, and gold, silver, and mining stocks are responding favorably. In this update, I'll break down where these assets currently stand from a technical perspective and what's likely to come next, all right? In my recent dollar updates, I emphasized the importance of the 100 level on the US dollar index, a key support that had triggered several major rallies in recent years. But that support was recently broken, shifting my bias firmly bearish. In my latest analysis, I also pointed out that the 98 level as the next important support and warned that a break below it would confirm a deeper sell-off. Sure enough, the index sliced through that level today, hitting a 3-year low and further reinforcing the downtrend. Now, if the dollar is going lower and lower, what does that do to your purchasing power if the majority of your wealth is held in dollars? And again, why is it that these companies, massive amounts of companies, are trading lots of money in US dollars for other assets, i.e. Bitcoin? Why are they doing it? The US dollar has weakened over the past 2 days, driven by several key developments. Yesterday's benign consumer price index report was followed by a soft producer price index report, reading today reinforcing the disinflationary trend. Adding to the pressure, a new report yesterday showed that U.S. continuing jobless claims have risen to their highest level in over 3 years. Okay? Adding to the pressure, a new report yesterday showed that U.S. continuing jobless claims have risen to their highest level in over 3 years, okay? Together, these data points increase the likelihood of upcoming interest rate cuts, further weighing on the dollar's outlook, okay? The weekly chart of the US dollar index highlights how the 100 level has served as critical support for several years, with multiple rebounds occurring off of it. However, the recent decisive break below that level has given an important bearish signal. With that breakdown now validated, the next major support lies near the 90 level, which is now my next downside target, okay? Zooming out to the long-term monthly chart of the US dollar index, it reveals that it has been trading with a rising channel for nearly 2 decades. A continued move towards the key 90 level would mark a decisive breakdown from that pattern, one that is likely to open the door to even deeper declines. So if the dollar declines even deeper, again, what happens there? Shout out to Carlton Wade. Carlton said, Jerome Powell said that we're doing fine. This is fake news. Let me ask you guys this. If you guys agree with Jerome Powell, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with Jerome Powell and you think he's wrong, you think he's full of crap, then give me a thumbs down. There are numerous fundamental reasons to remain bearish, including the dollar's extreme overvaluation relative to historical norms. A sustained dollar bear market would be like rocket fuel for commodities, especially precious metals and mining stocks. As a reminder, the early 2000s commodities bull market was fueled in large part by a prolonged dollar bear market, and I see strong parallels between that period and the current environment. Okay. So I'm curious, how many people stack gold? How many people invest or buy gold? If you invest in gold or buy gold, give me a thumbs up. If you do not, then give me a thumbs down. Spoiler alert, I do. Okay, I buy gold. Next, let's take a look at gold via the COMEX futures, which I follow closely due to its tendency to trade in clean $100 increments, creating strong support and resistance around round numbers like 3,000, 3,001, 3,200, and so on. Gold delivered a strong performance today, rising 1.76 on the back of soft inflation and jobs data, which pressured the U.S. dollar. Geopolitical tensions also contributed to the rally, with reports indicating that Israel might be weighing a strike on Iran's nuclear facilities. Now, you know, clearly this is an old article, right? And we've already dealt with this, right? We've already dealt with this. So when it comes to that macroeconomic situation, when it comes to that geopolitical turbulence, what effect did the Iran-Israel issue have on the markets? What happened? Now, how many people were able to capitalize on the dip that occurred? I definitely was able to capitalize on that dip. Shout out to AB. I'm not mad at that. Anybody buy silver? If there's anybody that buys silver, give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs down. You should always, you know, diversify your portfolio. Silver and gold, absolutely, in my opinion. Shout out to RT the Brand. RT the Brand said Big 47 had to spank Iran real quick. Shout out to y'all. I'm curious, what is people's take on the Iran-Israel situation? What do you guys think about it? Apparently there was some type of ceasefire, then they stopped the ceasefire. I don't really know. I do, but I don't. You know. Shout out to AB. That's what's good. AB capitalized. Now, do you guys remember what I told you, right? Anytime there's a calamity, it's always a time to capitalize. Calamity is always a time to capitalize. You gotta think like BlackRock. You gotta ask yourself, what would BlackRock do? Right? This surge pushed gold futures to the $3,400 level. Before a strongish bullish confirmation, I'd like to see a decisive breakout above that threshold in the days ahead. Okay. As I've been showing in recent updates, gold remains in a healthy consolidation range between 3,200 and 3,500, pausing to catch its breath after strong gains earlier this spring. The sideways action may continue a bit longer, but a decisive breakout above 3,500 is the next key level I'm watching. That would likely mark the start of gold's next major leg higher, likely targeting $4,000 next, given its significance as a major psychological milestone that tends to act like a magnet for price. Okay. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. How many people believe that a $4,000 per ounce gold price is possible, given the current environment? It's also worth noting that gold has been forming a bull flag pattern over the past couple of months, and it recently broke out to the upside. This is technically a bullish development that reinforces the strength of the current move and warrants close attention. All right. So that's basically it as far as it goes for gold versus the dollar. Bearish signals for the dollar, bullish signals for gold. The high level of gold that people are expecting is $4,000. We shall see. All right. We shall see. Now, take a look at this. Survey indicates central banks plan to keep buying gold. Now, can I ask you guys this question? Why are central banks not buying dollars? Cold, hard cash. You know, everybody says like, cash, cold, hard cash. Cash is the best. Cash is the best. Cash, 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 cash. Let me ask you guys this question. How would you rather have cash or Bitcoin? Would you rather have cash or gold? Those are my questions for you all. Why do these companies and why do these banks keep buying Bitcoin and gold? Central banks have gobbled up over 1,000 tons of gold for 3 straight years. This is the same amount of time that the dollar has been, decreasing in. And most central bankers think the buying trend will continue. Last year was the 3rd largest expansion of central bank gold reserves on record, coming in just 6.2 tons lower than in 2023 and 91 tons lower than the all-time high set in 2022, which was 1,136 tons. 2022 was the highest level of net purchases on record, dating back to 1950, including since the suspension of dollar convertibility into gold in 1971. All right. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. How many people think that it's likely that there could be a situation where you're not able to convert Bitcoin into dollars? History always repeats. Why is that? I got a couple theories. Those aren't important for this stream. Right? But history always repeats. So it's almost guaranteed. We can almost be like 100% certain that at some point the United States government will stop the Bitcoin to dollar convertibility. We can almost be sure of it. Why can we almost be sure of it? Because we've witnessed the United States government stop the convertibility of precious metals to US dollars in the past. Okay. To put that into context, central bank gold reserves increased by an average of just 473 tons annually between 2010 and 2021. Looking at the broader perspective, the central bank gold buying trend is now entering the 16th year. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. Do you all think that the central banks are buying this gold because they see something possibly on the horizon? What do they see on the horizon? Geopolitical uncertainty, possibly? Based on the World Gold Council's annual central bank gold survey, it appears the gold buying trend will continue. Of the 73 central banks that responded to the survey, 95% said they believe the central bank gold reserves will increase over the next 12 months. A record 43% of the respondents indicated they expect their own gold reserves to expand. That was up from 29% in 2024. Okay. It was the largest number of central banks to ever respond to the World Gold Council survey. The World Gold Council said the increase in participation isn't just about a number. It is a powerful signal of engagement with gold amongst the central banking community. Why is the central bank choosing gold as an asset to hold? Why aren't they choosing the dollar if the dollar is so great? The dollar is so great, right? Why are people not choosing the dollar? The dollar greatness claim is not consistent with the actions that we're seeing financial and business institutions do. There's a disequilibrium between what people are saying, what people are pushing, and reality. We need to figure out that disequilibrium and where it's coming from. Right? 76% of the respondents said they think gold will hold a moderately or significantly higher share of total reserves 5 years from now, up from 69% last year. Again, where do you hear people saying that dollars will hold a higher amount of reserve? Where are you hearing this at? Shout out to Karen. Karen said it's becoming worthless. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. You can always look at the dollar's value like this. Take an average of gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Right? As the dollar approaches the price of each of those assets in ascending order, the value of those assets are going down, right? As those assets get away from the value of the dollar is going down. So, question, which direction has the trajectory been going? Bitcoin at $100,000 should be an obvious answer to that question. Shout out to Lehman Lucas. What's good with it, bro? Bitcoin at $100,000 should be an obvious answer to that question, right? Expectations point to continued gold buying over the next 12 months, reflecting sustained confidence in gold's strategic role and evolving geopolitical and macroeconomic dynamics. What might those be? What is gold replacing? Oh, gold has already overtaken the euro as the world's #2 reserve. But it's not so much that gold is replacing the euro. The EU's currency share of global reserves has remained steady. Gold is usurping the dollar. Gold is usurping the dollar. Let's deal with that. What's that mean? Soon everybody is going to have a money phone. The only problem is that the money phone is only going to buy you a 2-liter pop. What happens then? What happens then? According to recently released IMF data, the dollar's share of global reserve currencies slid further in 2024. So I'm gonna read this. So again, I gotta ask this question again. The dollar's share of global reserve currency slid further in 2024. Where are people rushing to get into dollars at? Where are they doing it? Where are the companies saying we're gonna hold all this money in US dollars? Where are they doing it at? It's the same. It's the same question that we asked. Shout out to Arthur Hayes. It's the same question that we asked about Arthur Hayes. Who's busting it open for Arthur Hayes? Who's busting it open for Arthur Hayes? Who's busting the wallet open to hold dollars? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But people tend to ignore this kind of thing. And results are results. As of the end of last year, dollars made up 57.8% of global reserves. That is the lowest level since 1994, representing a 7.3% decline in the last decade. In 2002, dollars accounted for about 72% of total reserves. Now, let me ask you all this question. Is Bitcoin eating away at that? Is Bitcoin eating away at that? Let me know. The World Gold Council survey respondents think that this trend will continue, with 73% saying they expect their dollar reserves to decline even more in the next 5 years. Let me ask you guys this question. What's the 5-year price prediction for Bitcoin? Dollars down, Bitcoin up. That's what the data says. Right? CNBC recently pointed out that gold has been increasingly attractive to countries concerned about sanctions and the potential erosion of the role of major currencies in the international monetary system. In other words, they are trying to shield themselves from the weaponization and depreciation of the dollar. Now, again, we've talked about this ad nauseum in the past. Right? We've talked about this ad nauseum in the past. Survey respondents also indicated that the share of other currencies in the reserve mix, such as the euro and the renminbi, would increase along with gold. Now, dollars are going down, other currencies are going up. Central bankers who responded to the survey indicated that the level of interest rates was the most important factor dictating reserve management solutions. Inflation concerns came in as the second most important driver. Okay. Central banks in emerging markets and developing economies have driven the recent central bank gold rush. Of the EMDE banks that responded to the survey, the top two reasons for gold buying were inflation and geopolitical concerns. Now, I need to ask you guys this question. What are these geopolitical concerns? What are the geopolitical concerns? I don't think most people even know. How many people have heard that this year we're supposed to have one of the hottest summers in history? What's people's plan for that? You guys think water is going to be a little bit more scarce and a little bit more expensive? People not planning for any of this stuff. The survey also asked bankers to rank the relevance of various factors in their decision to hold gold. The yellow metal's performance during times of crisis was most relevant, along with its role as an inflation hedge. Okay. Now, here's my question. How much evidence is necessary? I mean, how much evidence is necessary? Seriously, to prove these points? I mean, it's ridiculous. And the thing is, you know, when it comes to this channel, we're not trying to prove any points. We don't care whether you invest in cryptocurrency or not, right? That's why we put stuff like this up here. How many people have ever seen this screen? This is the Cash App screen on Bitcoin, right? So people will sit there and tell you a bold-faced lie. I don't know how to use Bitcoin. I don't know what Bitcoin is. It says it right. Any application, any app that has any involvement with Bitcoin, it literally has a section that shows you what Bitcoin is and how to use it. See, look at the second square in the first row. What is Bitcoin? It says it right there. How does Bitcoin work? I don't know how Bitcoin works. So how does Bitcoin work? It's the first square in the second row. I mean, these excuses are not excuses. They're lies. This is right on Cash App. This is available to anybody. But you will hear time and time again. Time and time again. You will hear it time and time again. I don't know this. I don't know that. Keep not knowing. Keep not knowing. Right? Nobody cares. So now here it says Anthony Pompliano, he has a crypto venture and he's buying $386 million in Bitcoin. It'd be nice if we were able to buy $386 million in Bitcoin. Right? It'd be nice. Let me ask you guys this question. Why can't we buy $386 million in Bitcoin? Why can't we do that? Anthony Pompliano's crypto firm, ProCrap, ProCap, not ProCrap, has purchased 3,724 Bitcoin after announcing a $1 billion plan to go public later on this year. I'll be buying some stock in this when they go public. Crypto entrepreneur Anthony Pompliano's firm, ProCap, made its first Bitcoin purchase just days after revealing that it plans to go public later this year. This is going to be like the .com situation. shout out to Carlton. Carlton said there are a few reasons why. Let's talk about them. Let's talk about them. Let's talk about them. The Bitcoin financial services firm ProCap said on Tuesday that it purchased 3,724 Bitcoin for $386 million. Somebody thinks that Bitcoin is, worth something. They spent $386 million on it. And that's just one of the places that have spent lots of money on Bitcoin. Right? The investment is now worth just shy of $400 million at current market prices as the asset has gained since the buy. I mean, just that quickly they gained $14 million. Like, the firm purchased the assets at a time-weighted price of $103,785 per Bitcoin. The buy follows the ProCap's announcement on Monday that it plans to go public via a merger with the blank check company Columbus Circle Capital to become ProCap Financial. I mean, all of these people are going to be like billionaires, trillionaires. Yeah, Pompliano, he's got his own crypto. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's got a podcast where he talks to a lot of different people about Bitcoin. Need I mention his views are far superior to mine, far superior by thousands, right? Like, his views in comparison to mine make his channel look like Bitcoin compared to Crow at Knife, right? Like that, that needs to be said, right? But that's the reality of things. There are people that watch Anthony Pompliano who are interested in maintaining and improving their wealth. shout out to Carlton. Hey, right? Hey. Shout out to AB. AB said, I guess his people made him. I guess they did. I guess people do. They do it all the time. They do it all the time. I could tell you stories. Yeah. So now here it says, we believe Bitcoin is the new hurdle rate. If you can't beat it, you have to buy it, Pompliano said on X. And again, we talked about this in the last stream, right? We talked about this in the last stream where the one financial analyst said, in order for a lot of these companies to remain relevant, companies, not individuals, right? Not retail, companies, the idea is that they should purchase a minimum of 10,000 Bitcoin monthly. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said Crow at Knife is going to take off any day now. It's going to definitely take off of my portfolio as soon as we have a good pump. It's going to take off permanently. Like, it's going to be taken off permanently. But to be honest, though, let's actually talk about that, right? The cryptocurrency market overall is not doing very well. I want to make sure that everybody is aware of that. Let me ask you guys this question. What cryptocurrency is doing great right now? There is no cryptocurrency that's doing great right now. Aside from Bitcoin, give me a cryptocurrency that's trading at 80% of its all-time high. Bitcoin makes up 60% of the cryptocurrency market. So if Bitcoin is doing good, it gives the appearance that the overall cryptocurrency market is doing good because Bitcoin is larger than what the average would be. Ethereum is not at 50% of the all-time high, if I'm not mistaken. Ethereum might be like 51 or 52% of the all-time high. Solana's at like 50% of the all-time high. Nothing's at, its all-time high, or nothing is trading at like, 10 to 20% of the or 10 to 20% under the all-time high, 90 to 80%. Nothing's doing that. So the cryptocurrency market overall is not doing as well as it would seem. It's Bitcoin that's doing very well. So now here it says the firm plans to buy up $1 billion worth of Bitcoin for its balance sheet as part of its ongoing business strategy, joining the ranks of corporate Bitcoin treasury firms. All right. I mean, I want you all to understand. Do you know that people were made fun of for talking about this kind of thing? People were laughed out of the room. And now this is every week we hear about somebody raising $1 billion to buy some Bitcoin. What do those people have to say? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said crypto was doing fine until Michael Saylor and them entered the market. I think that crypto is doing great with the addition of Michael Saylor and all them. I think that I'm not mad at crypto right now at all. You know what I'm saying? They need to buy up more. Buy it all up. Now, here's my question. When all the crypto is bought up, what do the people that don't have any cryptocurrency say? What do they say? This is just wild to see. The merger with Columbus, a special purpose acquisition company, has been orchestrated to take ProCap public, and firms have raised more than $750 million for the deal, drawing in $516 million in equity and $235 million in convertible notes. And SPAC is a shell company that is set up to acquire or merge with an existing private company in order to make it public. ProCap joins the Bitcoin treasury bubble. Now, didn't I have a stream a couple weeks ago called the Bitcoin treasury bubble? My people won't make me great. Just like how Cathie Woods is about to get lots of credit for some stuff, that we talked about over here for a long time ago. Not making people great. Some people might look at that as a betrayal. I want to ask you guys this question. Have you guys ever heard people need to quote unquote give back? Give what back is my question. Give back. Y'all heard this notion of give back. If you become a celebrity, you should quote unquote give back. Okay, let me ask you this question. Let's just say our 10th of a Bitcoin in 10 years is worth $10 million. We're rich. We're financially independent. Then the expectation is, quote unquote, give back. Give what back? Give back to who? Your 10th of a Bitcoin is worth $10 million. Give what back to who? That's my serious. This is a serious question for everybody in here. Facts. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said the give back is a scam. Facts. I want to know who is supposed to get any. The people that laughed at us? Who's supposed to get any? Give back. Give back to who? Give Satoshis to who? Shout out to Carlton Way. Carlton said, you give back and they delete you. Rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. I want to know who we're supposed to give back to is my question. Who are we supposed to give anything back to? Shout out to AB. AB said, I will donate to a charity and write it off as taxes. That's the give back. Hey, I'm not mad at that. I'll take a loan against my Bitcoin and just, you know what I'm saying, try to, deal with the taxes in that way, right? But I seriously want to know. I want to know who are we supposed to give anything back to? And you decided to save your money and put it into Bitcoin. You decided to dollar cost average. Instead of spending money on something that you wanted, you decided to sacrifice. Right? People, kind of distance themselves from you if you deal with investments or, affluency tactics, right? So who are you supposed to give back to? We need to come up with a consensus on this. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton says, write it off on taxes. Sounds like a rich man move. I like it. I like it. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen says, I want to know who in our group has a security firm that I will patronize. That's my give back. That's my give back. Investing in our own industries. I'll tell you the best. There's only two answers for that as of 6:25, 10:30 a.m. You better hit that link that AB Promotions made in the Discord or just buy yourself some more Bitcoin. Oh man, that's what you better do, Brooklyn Queen. Hit that link that AB Promotions got in the Discord, or just buy yourself some more Bitcoin. Because don't none of that even exist. You know what I'm saying? None of that even exists. Why don't it exist? Why don't it exist? It don't exist because Carlton didn't make it. It don't exist because Carlton didn't make it. Blame Carlton. Listen, let me ask you guys, this should be a requirement. This should be a requirement. But people don't hold each other to these standards. It should be a requirement. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I'm buying stock in this Anthony Pompliano company. The same way I buy stock in MicroStrategies, the same way I buy stock in BlackRock, I'm buying stock in those companies. Now, shout out to AB Promotions. I'm gonna hit AB Promotions link too. The pressure needs to be put on. You don't have, there's nothing for me to invest in. So I just hit Cash App and buy some more Bitcoin. Why is it a desolate financial desert? Why? These are the questions. Carlton had already put that alert. He already put that alarm in the chat. Here come the questions. Yeah, here come the questions. Let me ask you all this. What is the minimum technological expected standard? Is there one? I have a minimal technological expected standard. I have an expectation that you deal with Bitcoin. I have an expectation that you know how to turn on a computer. Where is it at? There is none. There is none. There is none. And that's why there is none. So again, this is why I asked the question. Give back to who? There's not even anybody in a position to receive. And people are talking about quote unquote give back. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said people have different priorities and Bitcoin isn't one of them. Yeah, and you know what? We've expanded the horizons. We don't even just talk about Bitcoin anymore. We talked about unemployment. That was the first part, right? We've talked about gold and we've been talking about stocks. I want you guys to understand. This is all lies. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said, I'm not helping anyone who has refused to help themselves. Facts. We've been when the people who say that they've been lied to have been lying to us. That's the reality. That's the reality. The people that say that they've been lied to, those people have been lying to us. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, we're giving back by telling them about crypto. You can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I got a better idea to do with a horse. Run it in the Kentucky Derby until his legs don't work anymore and win as much money as you can from it. And then liquidate it. Shout out to AB. AB says, until we get sick and tired of losing, we're going to stay in the same place. I'm tired of losing. I want to win. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I think that what people need to understand is that in a lot of situations, for some people, winning is not possible. We deal with a large majority of NPCs. There's a overpopulation of NPCs that are capable of pulling zero weight, which makes them dead weight. And I think that a lot of people have a difficult time accepting that. And I think that people need to, I don't know how, but people need to accelerate their acceptance of that, because it would be difficult to prove otherwise. It'd be difficult to prove otherwise. People want to be gaslit, and people want to be spoon-fed. And that just doesn't work. That just doesn't happen. And the dangers of being spoon-fed is somebody could put anything on that spoon and feed it to you. And people will eat it. They'll eat it. Now, we're like I said, we're gonna go into more of these things, right? We're gonna go into more of these things. I think I've proven my point, though. I think I've proven my point that people are liars and that they actually don't want the things that they say that they want. I think that point has been not yet exhausted, but I think that it's been proven. And I think that there's been some extremely sophisticated and high-level gaslighting collaborative efforts that have gone on. And I think that it's interesting. Shout out to Carlton. Yeah, we've said this, right? And in my opinion, we've exhausted all the evidence. We've proven it. Here's another thing. Not only, I would go a step further. Carlton says people are content with the current conditions. I would go as far as to say not only are people content with the current conditions, people are incapable of influencing the current conditions an ounce. They're not capable. And they have an internal jealousy because they're pathetic. And because they know that their feeble-minded, mediocre constructed brains aren't capable of coming up with solutions to be able to deal with current barricades in front of them, they would rather try to make it so that people who are capable have no support in being able to break any type of barriers. I've asked this question for a long time. When it comes to like people that randomly get hit, why is it that it's always, it's never like a gangbanger, or it's never a person that's a criminal that gets hit with a random bullet? It's always some kid that's like 5 years old that had a bright future. When things happen in succession like that, is it random all the time? Is that random? Random is when things are not predictable, but there's a predictable pattern of this type of thing happening. What about people like, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle? If you ask me, the Nipsey Hussle deletion might have been an inside job because he was pro crypto. How many people would agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. The Nipsey Hussle deletion could have been an inside job because he was pro crypto. That's one aspect of Nipsey Hussle that they don't talk about. Shout out to TD. We was talking about this last night. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, "Wow, I never thought about that." All I gotta say is look at the way that people are towards crypto. Look at the way that people are towards anybody that says, "Hey, I got a solution. I got an idea." This is the reality. This is the reality. It's the or the security guard from Tops. Yeah. That would put Peyton Gendron on the same team as the dude that deleted Nipsey Hussle. But the content creators ain't painting that picture, though. Can't do that. Can't do that. Shout out to AB. AB said he was one of the first to accept digital payments. Look where the world is now. And look at the legacy. When do you ever hear Nipsey Hussle talked about in a quote-unquote black excellence conversation of being one of the first to try to mass adopt cryptocurrency? There's a agenda. There's an agenda, an internal agenda. When has Arthur Hayes ever talked about in terms of black excellence? It's an internal agenda. They about to put a socialist as the mayor of New York. The people that claim that they've been lied to have been lying to us the entire time. They've been lying to us. Shout out to Carlton Wade. Carlton Wade said Arthur Hayes is never mentioned. It never will be. That boy will show you how to get rich. Thought wealth was the issue. Guess it's not. Well, what is the issue? Who knows? Right? But my question is, a tenth of a Bitcoin in 10 years, let's say it's worth $10 million. Give back to who and give back what? I'll give back. I'll give back laughter. I'll give back jokes. I'll give back circumstantial shaming. I'll give back helping anyone. I'll give back. I'll give back all of that because that's what we got. Certain elements must be eradicated. Certain elements must be eradicated. And a lot of times, that's the biggest test with people. Do you have what it takes to do pest control? Shout out to AB. AB said he cut out the middleman, Uncle Sam, and they got mad. Now who? Now here's the question: who's the they? Because here go the thing: a lot of these other look at a lot of these stablecoin companies. Didn't nobody take out the stablecoin? The Circle CEO. Nobody took out any of these stablecoin CEOs. None of these other places. Nobody took out none of these people. Right? But they took. But Nipsey got took out though. Nipsey Hussle got took out by somebody who probably likely doesn't know how to send Bitcoin from wallet to wallet. And I'm going to tell you, the same people that sent that person after Nipsey, they're going to send people after any of us that got crypto. And the reason why is because if we got crypto and our crypto blows up, it's harming a necessary revenue generating narrative. And you know, people would do crazy things over their money. People would do crazy things over their money. That's just something to think about. You know what I'm saying? People don't ask the right questions, and people want you living in a delusional, distracted pseudo reality. Because there's more people than just the Democrats that need you dependent for them to make a living. And this is one of the reasons why the struggle narrative is an ongoing thing until people end it, until people dead it. You need to have people believe that they're hopeless. Shout out to AB. AB said, I guarantee you he doesn't know how to take crypto off the exchange. Bro, facts. Facts. So again, look at this. Corporate buying continues. Just this week, Bitcoin treasury giants Strategy and Japan's MetaPlanet increased their holdings to 592,345 and 11,111 Bitcoin, respectively. Meanwhile, real estate mogul Grant Cardone announced his firm's first Bitcoin purchase with 1,000 Bitcoin for its corporate treasury. I mean, listen. Shout out to Rain King. What's good with it, bro? Listen, man. Mineral exploration company Panther Metals also announced a Bitcoin treasury strategy combining traditional mining assets with crypto and plans to buy 5.4 million worth. Could you imagine? I want you guys to imagine this. Imagine this. I want you guys to imagine this. Imagine if we approached people with the notion and said, we're creating convertible bonds so we could buy a Bitcoin treasury. What would happen? What would happen if we came to our peers with this? I want to tell you exactly. I want to know exactly how much money and support we would get. And that right there should tell you everything. That should tell you everything. Anytime anybody attempts to shut down any conversation, from here on out, we're going to say they would Nipsey us. We got Nipsey'd. Yeah, shout out to Carlton. You would be labeled a scam artist and roasted. You'd get Nipsey'd. You'd get Nipsey'd because they did that to Nipsey, right? You'd get Nipsey'd. You come and say, yo, I got this idea. Let's generate some revenue. Y'all can buy stock in the company. They'd Nipsey you. That's what we got to deal with. That's our peers. That I want everybody to make sure that you understand this. That's our peers. So when people ask the question, well, how come Anthony Pompliano can do this and you can't? We wouldn't even be able to get anybody to sit down for 15 minutes to explain. The moment we said the word Bitcoin, the same thing in that meeting that would happen in that meeting is the same thing that happened to my channel. That's your peers. That's your peers. That's your peers. Shout out to DMX. Rest in peace, DMX. That's your man's. So make no mistake. Right? Make no mistake. That's how that would go. In order to get that type of money, you got to be involved in some type of high profile crime or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Then they could throw up a GoFundMe, and you know what I'm saying, you might get some dough in the GoFundMe. If you come with a business idea, even if you've received not a damn dollar or not a damn minute in attention currency, these fools who haven't spent an ounce will sit there and call you a scammer. Look at this. And this is the facts. Like, man, this is the reality. We don't have people, man. We don't have any people. You know what I'm saying? You see how many people we got? We got 10 people. That's what we got. Population 10. Population 10. You know what I'm saying? Norway deep sea mining firm plans $1.2 billion Bitcoin buy. Let's raise $1.2 billion and buy some Bitcoin, y'all. What y'all think? I want y'all to put in the comment section every joke and every name that we get called. Also put in the chat what kind of bullets we might have to dodge from our peers, the people that love us, supposedly. Now, here's my question. Who's making anybody do that? Who's making anybody do that? We shouldn't have to deal with such mediocrity. It's disgusting. Shout out to AB. Oh, I agree 100%. Shout out to AB. But here's my thing. 10 people can make it happen. 10 people should benefit. 10 people make it happen. 10 people benefit. This ain't no save the world type thing. You know what I mean? The save the world days, them days are over. And the save the world days are over because people made it clear they don't want the world to get saved. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said a scam artist, clown, plebiscite babbler, Sambo, etc. Facts. Give it to me. Throw it in the chat. Everything that they would say. Shout out to AB. AB said 9mm for sure. They might throw some hollow tips in there. This is the reality. This right here, this is the reality. This is the rabbit hole that people need to open their eyes and see, even if it's only the 10 people in here. Norway deep sea mining firm plans $1.2 billion Bitcoin buy. Green Minerals says it will raise $1.2 billion to buy Bitcoin and plans to adopt blockchain technologies in areas such as supply chain transparency and operational efficiency. Norwegian deep sea mining firm Green Minerals says it plans to create a Bitcoin treasury and is aiming to raise $1.2 billion to buy and hold Bitcoin in the long term. Now, again, you hear this all over the place. How do you hear this all the time and the learning curve remains flat? This is my question. People need to see this about our peers. Because if you ask me, like sorrow and, humility, those are finite resources that should only be spent on the appropriate place and on the appropriate things. And as I look and as I watch and as I observe and as I notice certain patterns, I find it harder and harder and harder to justify sorrow or sympathy in many different directions. And what we need is more people like that. But we're not going to get more people like that because they're not capable. So the only way that we can get more people like that is to create enough power and influence where we can force the people that don't have the sense enough to be like that to be like that. Otherwise, things will just remain chaotic. Yeah, shout out to AB Promotions. Facts. Where's the dollar at? Let me ask y'all this. Where are people building US dollar treasury companies and business strategies at? Where are they doing that? In most cases, when most receivers get US dollars, in most cases, the dollar is converted to something other than a dollar. It's not usually held long term. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Green Mineral said on Monday that the plan is part of a wider blockchain strategy that aims to diversify the company's investments from fiat currencies and support its future project plans. Why are people getting away from fiat currencies? People are leaving fiat currencies. Green Minerals executive chair Stal Rodhall said in a statement that Bitcoin is an attractive alternative to traditional fiat and hopes that adding it to the firm's balance sheet will help by mitigating fiat risks. I remember there was a time when Bitcoin itself was looked at as a risk. Now Bitcoin is looked at as a hedge against risk. Things done changed. Things done changed. Yeah, shout out to Carlton. Carlton said companies across all industries are adopting Bitcoin. Let me ask you this. Are people across all spectrums adopting Bitcoin? The blast must always be applied, Carlton. You know what I'm saying? The blast must always be applied. It must always be applied until people get it. First Bitcoin buy coming in the next few days. Green Minerals said that with its partners, it plans to finance up to $1.2 billion with programs designed to increase its Bitcoin treasury, and it aims to buy its first Bitcoin within the next few days. Okay, so we got to take note of these companies, right? Green Minerals could buy roughly 11,225 Bitcoin for $1.2 billion, with it currently trading at around 106,500. Now, this price is going up, right? The price is going up. The company also said it will launch a key performance indicator with the new metrics tracking Bitcoin value attributable to each share. Look at the company said it will launch a key performance indicator. Didn't I told man, look. Hey, listen. When these things blow up and become mainstream, I don't want anyone digging up my old content saying this person said it. Nah, let my stuff stay buried. Shout out to Lehman Lucas. Lehman Lucas said, Rob, you're like the evil TMI. Shout out to TMI. TMI is a very patient, he still believes that people are capable, of saving themselves from the financial matrix with Bitcoin. I've come to the realization that there's a reason why rich people are rich and there's a reason why poor people are poor. You know what I'm saying? I've come to that realization. There's always going to be haves and have-nots. And I'm trying to be a have. I've been a have-not long enough. And what I found is that there are people, lots of people, that are not willing to do what's necessary to be a have. And if people aren't willing to do what's necessary to be a have, then they seal their fate as a have-not. Even if you have the drive to be a have-not, you can still end up being a have-not. But you definitely deserve it if you don't even try. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said TMI wants everyone to win, but look at how TMI stresses himself out. Look at how he stresses himself out. He's I'm hype. This video is gonna be intense, raising the blood pressure up. I want people to buy Bitcoin. I want everybody to have Satoshis. Some people get Satoshis. Some people get a chronic disease. That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? The human animal is one of the least volatile forces of nature in the universe. The human animal is extremely predictable. And I think that people should realize that. People should realize that. You will sit there. Look at this. Let me ask you guys this question. Any one person in history, anywhere, amongst any group of people, any person who has tried to make a substantial change for a collective group of people, what happened to that person? Where are they at today? Most of them died terrible deaths, or either they died miserable and broke. Whether it be Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, or Nikola Tesla. Pick one from any corner of the world. The animals that they tried to help They all died trying to help these animals. That's not going to be me, and I hope that's not going to be y'all. Name me one quote unquote leader, regardless of how you think this person is, what you think they are, good leader, bad leader. Name me one leader that attempted to advance any group of humans or humanity as a whole, and tell me where they are today. And tell me how they died. Which any of them die of natural causes? They got stampeded by their own herd in most cases. Or either they tried to create prosperity for a bunch of people and died not able to pay a medical bill. That's what your peers do for you, which is why you got to create the correct peer group. And you have to understand that the human animal is one of the most non-volatile forces in nature. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said you can mention a lot of people from the Bible that fits that description. Let's. Who's the one that coined that phrase? Wasn't it Charlemagne the God? Let's talk about main character energy. Jesus, or like some people like to call him, Yeshua. Right? What happened to him? Man, people were really grateful for what they said he did. Shout out to AB. AB said Patrice Lumumba, Muammar Gaddafi. The list goes on. One thing that's predictable about people is if you try to help them, they will destroy you. They will destroy you. If you try to help, they will destroy your body. They will destroy your mind. They will destroy your legacy. This is why they can't be helped. This is what you got to be careful of. We talked about one earlier. Somebody got nipsied. Predictable. 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 So you got to make sure that you take care of yourself. And you got to make sure that you find the right peer group. And you got to take care of your peers appropriately. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton says some would say JFK, some would say Abraham Lincoln. So you know what I'm saying? You know, some would say Abraham Lincoln. Some would say JFK. A lot of examples all across the human spectrum. All across the human animal kingdom. And that's what we got to understand. We got to understand. We have to understand. We are dealing with animals. We are on the planet with a bunch of zoo escapees. And there's a difference between the zoo. When the animals are at work at the zoo, they don't clock out of their cages. They stay in their cages. See, the zoo of humans, they have homes, they have cars, they have jobs, they have these things that they can burn off their idiotic energy. and be enclosed and encapsulated. But the problem is that these things don't lock in most cases from the outside. They lock from the inside. So they had the freedom to come and go out of their cages as they want to. And that's when it puts us, people like us, at risk. That's the reality that people got to understand. No more softball. And since we live in a human animal kingdom, the only way to survive is to be the most feared predator. That's the only way to survive. There is no other survival. But you have these soft, these embarrassments that preach these kumbaya messages and just this nauseating nonsense. I don't know what people want. I do know what people want. And it's not the same thing that I want. I don't think it's the same thing that you guys want. In most cases, advanced people want self-sovereignty. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Unadvanced people need to be herded and controlled. Because if you don't control them, just look around, you see what they do. So you see people on this side of the spectrum over here seeking control mechanisms. You see people on the other side of the spectrum seeking cooperative mechanisms. I don't seek to cooperate with people that I see as dirt. I seek to do what most people do with dirt. Step on it and keep moving. And this is the reason why, shout out to the Modern Investor for being a great content creator and a great cryptocurrency advocate. I don't really care if everybody gets Satoshis or not. I'm done caring. No one should kill themselves caring, if you ask me. Ask yourself this question. How many people have died caring? How many people have cared or died trying? The list is probably endless. I don't want to be on that list. I don't want to see any of you guys on that list. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it. So the mining firm has also flagged plans to adopt blockchain technology to stay at the forefront of the competition. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen, because Brooklyn Queen put that interesting article in the chat about the quantum computer, right? And we know that quantum computing has always been an emerging threat to, blockchain and cryptocurrency encryption. It would have been nice to be able to talk about that article, but you guys know we got constraints. Right? You guys know we got constraints, So, yeah, another company, this company called Green Minerals, a Norwegian company, raising $1.2 billion to buy Bitcoin. More and more and more companies raising money to buy Bitcoin. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. What is the quote-unquote long-term trajectory of Bitcoin? What's the long-term trajectory? Where do people see this thing going? We know a lot of people see it going to zero, right? As of right now, those people have been horribly wrong. I mean, horribly wrong. Like, I want you to think about how wrong the people are who said that Bitcoin is going to zero. They are $107,524 off. That's how incorrect they are. That's astronomically incorrect. But there's always tomorrow, right? There's always tomorrow. Asia Morning Briefing. Analysts say Bitcoin's long-term focus is easing war jitters. Okay. Now, when they say Bitcoin's long-term focus is easing war jitters, what are they talking about? What they're talking about is Bitcoin's price stability through macroeconomic turbulence, behaving like a quote-unquote store of value, behaving like the store of value that it was designed to be, right? Tim Draper sees parallels between the flight to Bitcoin and Microsoft's early days. Woo, man, I could have sworn. Too bad people don't have non-ADHD minds to actually watch my entire streams. I could have sworn I compared Bitcoin to Microsoft a long time ago. It only matters when certain people say things in the past. It don't matter when everybody says something in the past. It only matters when certain people say something in the past. Well, I'm pretty sure I compared Bitcoin to Microsoft. But I said that Microsoft is making a monumental mistake by not adopting a Bitcoin strategy, and they're about to have their IBM moment. If you guys don't recall, stupendously wrong. Shout out to AB Promotions. Astronomically wrong. I mean, could you imagine being over 100,000 units incorrect on a bet? That's what these people all are. Let me ask you guys this question. Shout out to the people that believe that Bitcoin is going to zero. Is there anybody who believes that Bitcoin is going to zero who can show me a perpetual futures contract on Bitcoin at zero that they've taken out since they believe this with such conviction? How many open future contracts on zero for Bitcoin are there? Here's another question. How many bets are there for Bitcoin at zero on Polymarket or any betting platform? This is where we ignore facts and just start calling people names. Because that's what they were taught to do. This is where we just start ignoring facts and calling people names. Bitcoin's price surged past $106,000 as geopolitical tensions eased following a quote-unquote ceasefire between Israel and Iran. You know, how many... I got to ask you guys this question. Have anybody seen any weird content with people cheering on Iran? Have you guys seen that? I think it's weird. I don't cheer on, the United States getting involved in business that's not ours, because if you ask me, that's not our business, right? I don't agree with the United States supporting a 51st state that they don't receive state or federal tax from. I don't support that. But at the same time, I'm not really a big fan of the idea of Iran, destroying the United States either. But there's a lot of people that, in the recent times have accepted the identity of American and now call themselves American that really been like, hitting the pom-poms together real hard for Iran. I don't understand it. I don't understand what comes out of that. Like, can anybody explain to me, like, what comes out of that? Like, where's the payoff? Like, what's the staking bonus on that? What's the staking bonus on the pom-pom contact for Iran? I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. It's odd. I don't know. It's a lot of stuff. When you've been where I've been, a lot of stuff seems weird anymore. Let me ask y'all this question. First and foremost, let me just put this out here. Like I said from the jump, right? I'm not in support of the United States just jumping in, blindly supporting a 51st state that doesn't contribute income tax or federal tax, right? But I'm not big on, like, you know, Iran tearing the United States up, you know, because I live here. I don't. Shout out to Carlton. I don't know how it's a flex. I don't know how it's a flex. Anybody want to explain the flex? I don't know how it's a flex. How is it a flex? Somebody help me out with the flexing. Show me the way. Shout out to everybody watching, by the way. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor, take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit the bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. All right, let's talk about this. Institutional demand and macro liquidity cycles are increasingly defining Bitcoin's market behavior, according to analysts. How many people have heard this notion that the 4-year Bitcoin theory is over? They've talked about this quote unquote 4-year Bitcoin cycle, right? The 4-year Bitcoin cycle moves with the halving schedule. A lot of people are saying that this 4-year cycle is done and that there's a new cycle based on new indicators that's emerging. Okay. After a tense weekend that saw the U.S. bomb an Iranian nuclear site, Bitcoin has regained its footing, hovering around $106,000 as Asia begins its Wednesday session and pushing past levels from earlier this month when Israel bombed Iran. We've had, doesn't it seem like there's been a lot of stuff that's happened, man? Trump's only been president for like, he haven't even been president for a full year, and it's been lit. Like, it's just something every day. Like when he won, Bitcoin went up to 100,000. You know what I'm saying? Then it was like all kind of insanity. Like then there's the tariffs. You know, now it's the Israel, Iran. Like it hasn't been a stop. It hasn't stopped. It's that New York stuff, man. Shout out to AB Promotions in Brooklyn, Queen. It's that New York stuff. The city never sleep, better slip me an Ambien. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Trump too old to have it lit like this. Like, man, sit down somewhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but like, man, you too old to have it lit like this, man. Go sit down somewhere. Part of the reason why crypto has recovered alongside traditional markets is just how correlated the two have become. Now, again, here's my question. I want to know this question from everybody watching. If you remove Bitcoin from the cryptocurrency market cap and pay attention to the cryptocurrency market cap pattern without Bitcoin in it, would the crypto market cap and price behavior mirror the S&P 500 minus Bitcoin? That's my question. Let me know what you guys think. Me personally, I don't think that it would correlate as much with the S&P 500. I don't think that it would. I think that there would be much less of a correlation. And I think that there would be some other patterns that could actually be more helpful if the cryptocurrency market was examined under that lens. Okay. Bitcoin's sensitivity to traditional asset classes and macroeconomic indicators has evolved markedly over the past few market cycles, reflecting its growing integration into the broader macro financial system, which this growing integration into the broader macro financial system absolutely is coming from Bitcoin treasury, right? It's coming from Bitcoin treasury strategies, and it's coming from the nation state Bitcoin adoption. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. A recent report from Glassnode and Evnir Group reads, institutional infrastructure has reshaped how capital engages with Bitcoin. As a result, its market behavior is increasingly governed by structural liquidity, long horizon positioning, and regulated asset access points. Okay. The institutional backbone was visible again this week. Okay. Samir Gebelik, Director of Capital Formation and Investment Strategy at Pythagoras Investments, cited ETF flows as a major tailwind. the huge recent capital inflows in Bitcoin ETFs of $1.1 billion last week and even 350 million today alone are driving the positive trend. Now, here's the thing, right? I got to ask y'all this question. Now, this is a Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin ETFs had a $1.1 billion inflow, right? There's companies that buy billions of dollars of Bitcoin all the time. Like there's certain companies like MicroStrategy that buy billions of dollars of Bitcoin. This is happening with many different companies daily. How is it not affecting the price is the question. How is the price not increasing? What's going on is the question, right? Spencer Yang, core contributor to Fractal Bitcoin, added that one of the reasons why Bitcoin was able to shake off war jitter so quickly is that fundamentally nothing has changed about the asset class due to the conflict in the Middle East, and that's true. All the metrics that investors would look to for Bitcoin are still there, and other bullish market sentiment is possibly on the way. We're seeing continued interest in protocols like BRC20, especially with the recent upgrade, as well as runes and alkanes, which have been getting a lot of attention, he added. So overall on-chain activity across the board is increasing thanks to these types of assets. The takeaway, as Bitcoin becomes increasingly defined by institutional demand and macro liquidity cycles, analysts see its price action as less about reacting to headlines and more about long-term capital commitment, which is institutional HODL. Right? If you guys would agree, that's institutional HODL. Give me a thumbs up. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Carlton Way. Carlton Way said, maybe we can ask ChatGPT why the price of Bitcoin is not going up. Now, here's my thing. I think that the price of Bitcoin has a tug of war that's keeping it where it is. I do believe that there's a certain degree and a certain element of market manipulation, but I also think that there's a tug of war. I think that there's an equal amount of risk on and an equal amount of long-term Bitcoin holders, and that constant trade-off is literally like averaging out at maybe 0 +3 +5 -3 -5, and it's keeping Bitcoin where it would be at for now. I think once the economy cools down and once Trump kind of maybe takes a day or two off, goes on a golf trip and kind of just lets things happen the way that they happen, I think that that's when we'll start to see those price spikes. So it says this structural shift is what continues to anchor Bitcoin above $100,000 despite the noise. Okay. So this person named Tim Draper says Bitcoin is eating crypto as innovation flocks to Bitcoin. I would agree with this. Do you guys remember, again, I said this a long time ago, do you guys remember when I said at this point there may never be a mathematical altcoin season ever again? Do you guys remember when I said that? If you all remember when I said that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, then give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said we need retail to invest. What we actually need is retail to dump. We need retail to push the prices down. Give all your coins to us and BlackRock and MicroStrategy. That's what we need retail to do. So go ahead and buy for 2 weeks. When you see that you're not rich, go ahead and sell it like a pigeon. You know, so when some breadcrumbs dropped, so that we can buy it, because you're dumb, and that's what you're made for. You're made for giving us your Bitcoin. That's what retail should do. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. You should go ahead and flush out so we can catch it all in our net. We can try to catch it before BlackRock do, and that's just it. And then you can go back and try to buy it up again when it costs $1 million. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to B1 First. B1 First says, but who cares about the economy? Carlton said, dang. And I gotta agree. Shout out to B1. Save the economy for what? I'm not with saving the economy at all. I'm just trying to buy up as much Bitcoin as I can get. I could care less. The economy, man, look, Hey, it's only the economy till it's not. But they need to go ahead and sell out all the Bitcoin, push the price down a little bit so we can buy that retail, and then they can cry about it. They can cry about it later. Right? Because this ain't the Modern Investors channel. Right? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to the Modern Investor, right? But this ain't the Modern Investors channel. This is the evil channel. Shout out to Hurricane IQ. What's good with it, bro? This is the evil channel. This ain't that we're gonna save the world with Satoshi's channel. This is the go ahead and sell your Satoshis so we can buy them back cheap channel. You know, the Bitcoin blockchain is becoming the new home for crypto innovation, absorbing ideas once exclusive to altcoins. Just as Microsoft once consolidated the software revolution under its operating system empire, Tim Draper argued in a recent post on X. Microsoft, man, they really just they lost it. They just lost it. They just lost it. They just lost it. They missed out on the, cell phone internet movements. And shout out to Carlton. Carlton said TMI is Mario and you're Wario. That's hilarious and facts. That's a perfect comparison. That's a perfect comparison. So check this out. Draper pointed to Bitcoin dominance, right? A metric equivalent to its market share, rising over 60%. Now, I want to ask y'all this. If Bitcoin market share is 60%, right? Bitcoin dominance is 60%. And Bitcoin is $100,000 per token, right? And Ethereum, the largest altcoin, is at about $2,500 per token. At this point, how can there ever mathematically be an altcoin season again? I've been asking this question for a long time. Will we ever see another altcoin season? So I'm going to run these numbers past y'all real quick. Draper pointed to Bitcoin dominance, a metric equivalent to its market share, rising over 60%, up from 40% after the 2017 boom bust cycle, and 50% following the 2021 peak, as proof that Bitcoin is reasserting control over the broader crypto ecosystem. And I wouldn't disagree with that. That's not coming from a Bitcoin maximist perspective. That's just realistic. Right. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all would disagree, give me a thumbs down. That's just realistic, right? Much like how Microsoft integrated or cloned early success stories like Lotus 123. Man, who remembers Lotus 123? WordPerfect and PowerPoint to form its software suite. Lotus 123 is hilarious, man. That's wild. Lotus 123. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said mathematically it's not possible unless something catastrophic happens to Bitcoin, or unless there's just some out of nowhere major adoption of some other altcoin. Like let's just say Solana just somehow skyrocketed to $10,000 or something wild like that. Ripple just decided to just out of nowhere $1,000 a token, right? Draper says Bitcoin is now incorporating once altcoin exclusive innovations, smart contracts, DeFi, ordinals, and low-cost layer 2s. All the successful innovations on other platforms are now being ported to Bitcoin, Draper wrote, calling it an acceleration that mirrors big tech consolidation. Developers, he said, are increasingly gravitating toward Bitcoin as the most secure and valuable chain. I mean, if you look at price-wise and network infrastructure, it is. This isn't an opinion, right? Like, it is. Draper, who runs a Bitcoin-focused accelerator with Boost VC, said the next generation of entrepreneurs is building on Bitcoin, not just for ideological reasons, but because the infrastructure and ecosystem are now ready. Smart entrepreneurs are always building on the platform with the strongest gravitational pull, he wrote. That platform is Bitcoin. Now, you know, again, here's my question. How do you sell this message? You know, like, people don't accept this message. Wazer X granted extension to present revised restructuring plan. All right, I don't know what this is as far as that goes. Right? So, you know, I think we got the most important part of that article. Now, next, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at Ethereum spot ETFs. Shout out to AB Promotion, because he had mentioned the Ethereum spot ETFs. I want to ask you guys this question. What amount of money do you think Ethereum ETFs now have as far as inflows go? What's the amount of money? Somebody let me know. I'm about to put it up on the screen, so it's about to be too late. Hurry up and type in something. Too late. U.S. spot Ethereum ETFs surpass $4 billion in cumulative net inflows as first anniversary approaches. Yet, look at Ethereum's price. It's $2,411. How? Somebody, like, for real, seriously, how? Like, how? Somebody help me out. How is the price like that? Spot Ethereum ETFs in the U.S. reached a cumulative net inflow of over $4 billion on Monday, just 1 month shy of their first anniversary. Now, how many people have heard there's rumors that in a few weeks, possibly there could be Solana ETFs, possibly there could be Litecoin ETFs. These things are all up for approval. That would bring in a lot of liquidity to Litecoin and Solana. Ethereum's ETFs have overcome more than $4 billion in net outflows from Grayscale's converted ETHE fund to reach the milestone. Okay. U.S. spot Ethereum exchange traded funds surpassed $4 billion in cumulative net inflows on Monday, according to data compiled by the block, 11 months following their launch on July 23rd of 2024. And again, so how has the price not moved? How has the price of these things not moved? The Ethereum ETFs added a combined 100.7 million on June 23rd to reach the milestone, the strongest daily inflows in a week, despite ongoing fears surrounding the geopolitical conflict in the Middle East. So again, right, you can never discount the amount of influence that geopolitical issues have on the markets. You know what I'm saying? Look, hey, TD crazy. Shout out to TD. Hey, make sure y'all show TD some love. Those who playing some radiation emoji, some ducks in the chat for TD. TD said, STFU, don't nobody want to hear this ish. By the time you finish reading this super chat, I will have left. I will have left the stream already. And Carlton followed up and said facts. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Shout out to TD. Make sure y'all show TD some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, some ducks in the chat for TD for funding the organization and leaving without being a disturbance.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Oh, man, that's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. Yeah, you see all the money we talking about, man. TD, right. Don't nobody want to hear about this. All the money. All this money. No one, of course, people don't, you know. It's a weird dynamic. People do want to hear about money, but then they don't want to hear about money. I don't understand. Shout out to B1 First. B1 First said you can learn a lot from a dummy. Yeah. But this is the question. This is the question that we got to ask. We've got to establish who the dummies are. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to AB. AB said TD has gone all the way to the dark side. Not all the way. See, I gotta shout out to AB, right? We gotta. I think a lot of y'all, like, not a lot of people, right? Y'all don't know, like, the dark side, the extent of the dark side. TD is very much not on the dark side. But because there's a unilateral controlling and ongoing narrative on YouTube, the unilateral and ongoing narrative and its support staff would have you believe that somebody like TD has quote unquote gone all the way to the dark side. Shout out to y'all on YouTube. Y'all have the privilege of never coming in contact with somebody that has gone full dark side. Y'all might, though, at some point, but that day haven't happened yet. And I'm gonna be 100% honest. If that day ever does come, that YouTube happens to see somebody that has gone full and 100% dark side, it don't matter who your favorite YouTuber is. There's not gonna be anything. There's not gonna be anything that person or those people can do to even affect that individual. So it's kind of like getting hit with an asteroid, right? It's kind of like getting hit with a meteor. The Earth has been around for a long time, and since humanity has had a consciousness, haven't had any impacts. Hopefully YouTube has the same luck with full dark sideism. Oh man, yeah, but let me just assure you all, TD haven't gone quote unquote full dark side. Let me make another assurance. Let me make another assurance. The last thing that anybody wants to come in contact with is somebody that's gone full dark side. That's the absolute last thing that you want to come in contact with. But just remember though, when people, you can make somebody great or you can make them dark side. Everything is a result of something else, right? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said people are mad at TD because he has common sense. Yeah. Look, I would say people. I would say that people don't. I would say that most people aren't even aware of what's going on anywhere at all in the world, including inside their own house. That would be my response to that. I think that there's a large anti-common sense sentiment. And, you know, again, right? New York, they're about to vote in a socialist. What do you do with that? What do you do with that? Hey, look, I gotta ask y'all this question, man. Nah, I ain't about to ask y'all the question. I might just surprise y'all with some stuff. We might just do it like that. I might just have to surprise y'all with some stuff. What y'all think? How many of y'all want a surprise? It's gonna be one of those Jack Napier type surprises. You want to? Anybody want a surprise? Who wants a surprise? If you want a surprise, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says Fidelity's FETH, which is their ETF, led Monday's inflows, attracting 60.5 million to outshine BlackRock's usually dominant ETHA fund, which brought in 25.8 million. Now, you know BlackRock ain't happy about that. Grayscale's ETHE and ETH products added 9 million and 5.4 million respectively, while the other funds witnessed zero flows for the day. Okay. Similar to the US spot Bitcoin ETFs, the Ethereum ETFs have experienced substantial net outflows of 4.3 billion from Grayscale's higher fee ETHE fund since its conversion, which would have resulted in a cumulative net inflow total of 8.3 billion without this change. Following those outflows, Grayscale's ETHE market share by holdings has decreased from 89.7 at launch to 30.2%, although some of that has simply shifted into its mini ETH product. Meanwhile, BlackRock's ETHA has grown to lead the market with a 31.8% share as of June 23rd. Fidelity's FETH ranks third at 18%, and Grayscale's ETH follows in fourth place with 15.5%. All right. Spot Ethereum ETFs just surpassed 4 billion in cumulative inflows since launch. Includes 4.3 billion of outflows from the ETHE unlock. Seems pretty successful to me. ETF store president Nate Gerasi said on X, I remember when pundits thought the top end for spot Bitcoin ETFs in 1 year would be 5 billion. People are always moving the goalposts. Man, he must deal with some of the people that we deal with. Shout out to Dwayne Rose. Dwayne Rose said, peace, BLR. Thanks for putting me onto the Modern Investor channel. Bro, I watch the Modern Investor channel every day. His channel is one of my favorite crypto channels, for real. And Money Rules, the other channel, Money Rules. Shout out to my man, John Guillory. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to Alonda. What's good with you? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton says surprises are cool. Yeah, they surprises are cool. Shout out to everybody watching, man. If y'all haven't hit the like button yet, do me a favor. Take a moment, hit that like button. Also, if y'all haven't hit the bell, take a moment, hit that bell. All right. So, yeah, spot Ethereum ETFs are popping. All right. Now, how many people heard about this Wyoming stablecoin situation? Now, there was a token. We talked about this token in the Discord. It's called SEI, right? I believe it's pronounced C. And it's one of the coins. They got it available on staking on crypto.com. You can stake this coin. I don't think the rate is very impressive. It may be like 2% or something like that. But regardless, you can still stake it, right? And so, you know, we're running up the line. Any tokens that we think are value-added tokens, right? Any tokens that's value-added tokens that are within a reasonable price, in most cases under $1. The idea is to get 1,000 and then circle the block, right? So, C, I think at the time, right before all this had happened, C was at, I want to say it was maybe like 18 cents, right? Then this situation with the Wyoming stablecoin candidacy occurred, and it shot up to, I want to say it's probably like about 30 cents right now. Shout out to AB. AB said the Modern Investor's voice is hilarious. Hey, he be doing them. Hey, people, never mind. I'm not about to say that. But yeah, I'm gonna just put it like this, quote unquote. He be doing them voices. He be doing them voices. You know what I'm saying? The voices be hilarious. So, how many people hold C? If you hold C, give me a thumbs up. If you do not hold C, give me a thumbs down. Like I said, C can be bought and staked. You can get it on crypto.com. You can stake it on crypto.com. It's one of the ones, like I said, you know, when we talking about stuff that's under $1, if it look good, rounding that 1,000 out and then circling the block. Now, I didn't get a chance to see the video that Modern Investor dropped this morning, but I saw he had something in the title about some developments with Cardano. Now, I haven't had any of the Cardano news come my way, but you know, if we have some Cardano news, we'll definitely talk about it. Here goes some news for you about Cardano. The price is down, right? It's like about, I don't know, like what, 55 cents, something like that. Where's ADA at up here? Let me see. They got ADA up there. If they got Tron, they definitely should have ADA up there. Yeah, there we go. 56 cents. There go your Cardano news for you right there. Now, this is the token right here. This one called Hype. I've heard some companies are talking about like making a strategic reserve. Some Asian companies are making a strategic reserve with this token called Hype. I'm not very familiar with Hype, but you know, this something to keep your eye on. Right now, it's $37.30. I don't know if it's available on Coinbase or not because it's been forever since I've been on Coinbase. But I'm gonna check it out and I'm gonna follow the price on it. Right? I'm gonna follow the price on it. So yeah, see, you can stake this and get a decent amount while it's cheap. Who knows? You know, it might not do anything, you know, and then it might do everything, but it's not, it's cheap. So, you know, it depends on how you look at that in terms of risk. Altcoin C leaps 47% following Wyoming stablecoin candidacy. Analysts told Decrypt that C's strong on-chain growth over the preceding months could help support its recent price gains. Okay. Altcoin C was the best performing top 100 crypto asset in today's trading, jumping 46.5% to 28 to 28 to 0.2855 to 28 cents, you know, basically 29 cents basically. Now, shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to my man Win Lose or Rug. What's good with it, bro? Oh, Hyperliquid. Okay. It's a process to get it. Okay. Yeah, no wonder. Because I haven't been able to find it on any exchanges. I'm gonna keep a lookout for it though. Now, let me ask y'all this question. Does anybody know what the current price of C is? If anybody knows what the current price of C is, if you guys could put it in the chat, I'd appreciate it. Today's impressive performance builds on its momentum from earlier in the week. C is up over 72% in the past 7 days. Okay. C is a native token of the C network, a Cosmos-based Layer 1 blockchain launched in August of 2023, specifically designed to catering to the needs of decentralized organizations. Now, let's talk about Cosmos, right? Let's talk about Atom. Atom has lost lots of value. Yeah, large institutions. Shout out to Win Lose or Rug. And shout out to John Guillory. John Guillory said, I heard of Hyperliquid from Alex Becker. Actually interesting tokenizing coin. Okay. Win Lose or Rug said, Hype has got good eyes on it. Large institutions. Yeah, there's some large companies that are talking about making a Hype treasury, which I thought was interesting. So, you know, kind of if a token has institutions that are interested in treasurizing it, in a lot of cases, that's almost like a guaranteed some form of stability, some form of liquid stability, right? Now, as far as Cosmos goes, and shout out to y'all for putting the price of C in the chat, 29 cents. That's not bad. Cosmos has gone down significantly in price. But the interesting thing about Cosmos is that you can stake it for like 15%. So, you know, the price is crazy down on Cosmos. I'll be buying a little bit of Cosmos here and there, staking it. It was up extremely high. You know, like I've held that token for a long time. There was a time when it was, I want to say like at about $10, and they hit that $10 twice, and then it's tanked. Okay. Shout out to Win Lose or Rug. Win Lose or Rug said, I think you can trade perpetuals on Hyperliquid's Hyperliquid's platform. Yeah, you don't want Hyperliquids. You know what I'm saying? Mess around and get a blood clot. You know what I'm saying? Gallbladder stone. Right? So now here it says the altcoin's price surge comes after the Wyoming Stable Token Commission selected C as a candidate blockchain for its upcoming dollar-pegged stablecoin, Wyoming stablecoin, earlier this week. How many people even knew about this? I had no idea that this was even going on. No clue. It will face competition from rival blockchains Aptos, Arbitrum, Avalanche, Base, Ethereum, Polygon, Optimism, Stellar, Solana, and Sui. Now, you know, I don't care who wins this competition because I own all of these tokens except for Base and Aptos. I don't have any Aptos. I got Arbitrum, I got Avalanche, I got Ethereum, I got Polygon, I got Optimism. This can be staked. So can Polygon, so can Avalanche, so can Ethereum. Stellar, Solana, and you know Solana can be staked and Sui can be staked. So yeah, I mean, whatever they choose, it's going to be a win-win. Hey, shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, "Not me." Hey, boo this man. Hey, somebody boo that man. Boo Carlton. You know what I'm saying? Boo Carlton. So now here it says the state, which first proposed plans to issue its own stablecoin via a state bill in February 2022. Seriously? Announced an August target date for the token earlier this week, which would make Wyoming the first U.S. state to launch its own stablecoin. Yo, that's wild. They put this through in a bill in February 2022. However, the initiative is still facing plenty of political opposition from some Republican lawmakers who have raised negative comparisons between the project and a government-issued central bank digital currency. These people are idiots. They're all behind stable coins, but then they have a problem with the Wyoming stable coin. But at the same time, you're invested in Circle and you support Ripple. Right? Listen, I don't care. I just want all them tokens to increase in value for the most part. I don't care what they do. Analysts told Decrypt that aside from the impact of the show of faith from Wyoming, C has displayed impressive gains to its underlying ecosystem in recent weeks. Ilya Ochenko, right? Otachenko, lead analyst at exchange CEX.io, told Decrypt that over the past 2 months, C has also shown strong on-chain growth, with daily active addresses up 180% and daily transactions rising by 20%. Now, I did some research, right? I did some research on Solana, and what I found was very wild. Most Solana wallet addresses don't have any Solana in it. Have you guys ever heard that? If you guys ever heard that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys had not heard that, give me a thumbs down. That's what I heard. I read several articles that substantiated that. And I would advise anybody who makes it to this point in the live stream, anybody who watches this video, please go and do some research on average Solana and wallets and see what you come up with and leave it as a comment under the video. Give me some engagement. You know what I'm saying? Get your boy some engagement. So, yeah, you got the main idea, right? This token called C. It did pretty well. It increased by 47% after it was revealed that they would be a part of a Wyoming central bank digital currency scheme. At least that's what the Republicans said. Yeah, that's what the Republicans said. So we're gonna take a break off of crypto for a quick second, right? We're gonna talk about the boss chick. We're gonna talk about the boss chick. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about Cathie Woods. All right. Let's talk about your girl Cathie Wood for a second. Cathie Wood. Cathie Woods on top again due to 4 home run stocks. Following a couple of dismal years, Cathie Woods' ARC Innovation ETF is back on top, and she can mostly thank 4 home runs. Now, look at these 4 stocks in the ARC Innovation portfolio. Recent IPO Circle Internet, Robinhood, Tempest AI. I never heard of Tempest AI, and Palantir Technologies. Now, we know about Palantir. All of these are up 80% or more this year, says an Investor Business Daily analysis of data from S&P Global Market Intelligence and IBD Market Surge. Now, again, I told people about that Circle stock, right? I'm gonna pause that. I told people about that Circle stock. Now, shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat for Brooklyn Queen, because Brooklyn Queen put that article in the chat, in the Discord, about the XRP IPO, right? Now, my question is, how many people plan on dropping some coin on the XRP IPO? If you plan on dropping some coin on the XRP IPO, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said her portfolio is nice. Okay, bro, I can read between the lines. I can read between the lines. You know what I'm saying? I can read between the lines. That's enough to make ARC Innovation the top performing actively traded non-gold U.S. diversified ETF this year, up 19.3%, says Morningstar Direct. These huge stock winners this year are enough to counteract the fact that 46% of the ETF's holdings are down this year. Now, this is funny, right? This is similar to the situation that I have in my crypto portfolio with Bitcoin. If it wasn't for Bitcoin, my crypto portfolio would look terrible. Because nothing is up. Again, like I said, this narrative of the cryptocurrency market is doing so great, and cryptocurrency is not doing great. Cryptocurrency is not booming. Like, I don't know where that idea is coming from. Shout out to C, because C is doing very well. We just saw, right? But the broader cryptocurrency market is not doing so hot. It's not doing so hot. It's not doing hot at all, as a matter of fact. I don't know where that's coming from, but it's Bitcoin that's carrying everything. Right? If you guys would agree, it's Bitcoin that's carrying everything, give me a thumbs up. If y'all would disagree, give me a thumbs down and let me know what's carrying everything if Bitcoin's not. Now, this is what's important right here. I want people to understand this. ARC Innovations is certainly cashing in on its 7.5% weighing in new IPO Circle Internet. Shares are up 750% from IPO price of $31 a share. I told everybody Circle was going to blow up. I told everybody that. Like, yo, listen, man, Circle is going to blow up. And I think it's going to go higher. It's pulling back right now, and it's probably going to pull back some more. But it's going to go way higher. Shout out to AB. AB said, I saw an article saying Shiba Inu will lose a 0. Uh-oh. You know what that means? If Shiba Inu loses a 0, that means that we gain a 0, right? The chart is bullish. Shares carry an RS rating of 99, and the company has been profitable for 2 straight years. That position is paying off for ARK. But it's not alone. Trendy online brokerage Robinhood has seen shares jump 105% this year. I didn't know that Robinhood was lit up like that. I might have to look into Robinhood. How many people knew that Robinhood had a jump like that? Robinhood shares jumped up 105% this year. I didn't know that. I didn't know Robinhood had it going like that. It's a 4.5 position in the ARK Innovation Fund. This chart looks solid too, albeit extended. The RS rating is 98 and EPS rating is 81. Analysts see 17% EPS growth this year. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. Right now, spoiler alert, I don't have any Palantir shares. I might possibly pick some up. I don't know. My shout out to Maine. What's good with you, bro? My position on stocks in most cases are strictly stocks that deal with Bitcoin. So, you know, Robinhood, I might need to pick some Robinhood up. I might have to pick some Robinhood up. But like I said, I got Bitcoin mining companies and MicroStrategies and Circle. And of course, BlackRock. You know, can't forget BlackRock. Another 2 picks are working wonders for ARK Innovation. Tempest AI is up 95% this year. All right. So these are companies that we need to be paying attention to, right? So we need to be keeping track of these companies. So check out that table that they got right there. Write these down. Circle Internet Group, ticker CRCL. Robinhood Markets, ticker Hood, HOOD. Tempest AI, TEM. Palantir Technologies, PLTR. Okay, as you guys can see, Circle Internet Group is up top. Now, where's the articles at saying Robb, you know, Black Light Revelations is great? You know what I'm saying? He told everybody hop on that Circle IPO. Where's the articles at about me? There's none. There's 0. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said screenshot done. Appreciate you, Brooklyn Queen. Yo, I'm also put this in the chat real quick. All right. Because we need to diversify the portfolio. Right? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. We need to diversify the portfolio. You know, we got a lot of crypto exposure. A lot. Nothing wrong with having the crypto exposure, and we got faith in the crypto, right? But, you know, at the same time, our portfolios are not BS portfolios anymore, right? You know, we working with a couple $1,000s now. So, yeah, you know, it's time to leverage, right? So that's why we've been talking about other assets, right? We've been talking about gold. We've been talking about different stocks, some commodities. We got some tension popping off in the Middle East. It's always a good time to make sure you got some oils, you know, some oil certificates on deck, right? Got to diversify the portfolio. Got to mitigate those risks. So now here it says analysts are bullish on the future of AI. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. Why are analysts bullish on the future of AI? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Palantir is on Cash App. Yeah, they're on Cash App. And don't forget, you can buy stocks on crypto.com now. How many people have bought stocks on crypto.com? If you've bought stocks on crypto.com, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't bought stocks on crypto.com, give me a thumbs down. You can buy stocks on crypto.com now. Yeah, you can definitely buy the stock on crypto.com. And of course, you can buy it on Robinhood, right? It's a 5.4 position in the ETF. Additionally, defense security firm Palantir is perfectly positioned for the Trump administration. It's up 85% this year, a boon for ARC Innovation's 4.4% position. Looks like ARC Innovation is back on top. Okay. There you go. There you go, Carlton. Your girl is on top. sound like a party, right? Sound like a party, right? You know what I'm saying? Sound like college. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says MasterCard taps Chainlink to provide direct on-chain fiat to crypto conversions for cardholders. Now, I want to ask y'all this question. How many people pay attention to the publication called Market Beat? Yeah, I got to agree with AB. AB says because they know that AI is taking over the jobs market. Yeah, facts. AI is taking over not only the jobs market, AI is going to be taking over a lot of markets. AI is absolutely going to be taking over a lot of markets. Hey, that's hilarious. Shout out to Alpha Male Pimp Network. Alpha Male Pimp Network said, I wonder if Israel and Iran are going to war with each other over oil so that they can sell it to Diddy. Hey, that's hilarious. Hey, look, hey, here go the dumbest joke in the world. Hey, when hey, somebody asked Israel what they did when they saw the missiles coming, and somebody else said Iran. Hey, what they do when they seen the missiles coming? Shit, I ran. Oh man, hey, that's dumb. Oh man, speaking of Iran, that's what that island boy did when Charleston White was whooping that ass. Hey, that's what that island boy did when Charleston White was whooping that ass. When that island boy seen Charleston White coming, what he do? Iran. Hey, that was dumb. How many people seen that Charleston White boxing match on that Aiden Ross live stream? The boxing match against the Island Boy. Man, that was hilarious. Hey, shout out to John Guillory. John Guillory said that was a dad joke 100%. Bro, facts. You know what I'm saying? We got the Russian bots revenge in this bad boy. Oh man, we got the Russian bot revenge up in here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said I saw a short clip of it. The whole thing was basically a short clip. That the Island Boy dude was supposed to be a young dude. He was supposed to be a young dude, and Charleston White is old and was beating that ass. Russian bot said that was totally staged. It probably was. You ain't lying. Russian bots be knowing everything. It probably was staged for real. For real. Hey, look, no wonder the government be so mad at the Russian bots. They be knowing everything. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Maine. Maine said that shit was stupid, bro. That shit was hilarious. Hey, I want to see Charleston White versus Drewski next. I think Drewski would win though. I don't know. Actually, he might not. He might run out of breath. Charleston White got some cardio. He got that wild Irish rose cardio. You know what I'm saying? That boy went back to his corner, drank some wild Irish rose, came back in the ring ready to, you know what I'm saying, ready to tear something up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Hey, he got he got in the ring with that island boy and was like this.
Tie this bitch up!
Swing the remix god!
I'll tie this bitch up! Tie this bitch up! I will! Tie this bitch up! I will! Tie this bitch up! I'll tie this bitch up!
Hey, shout out to Russian Bots Revenge. Russian Bots Revenge said Charles ain't got no hands. I've been locked up with him before. Bro, I believe he looks like he fights like a kangaroo. Have you ever seen them old movies where like their wrists be curled backwards and they like be jumping up and down fighting, the wrists be curled all funny? Charleston White looks like he fights in that stance. Like Three Stooges, like he got a black belt in Three Stooges. Shout out to AB. AB said my boy Charleston got one eye. Oh man, that's wild, man. That's wild. But yeah, though, so yeah, there was an article in Market Beat talking about this. MasterCard is worried about this stablecoin threat. So they hit up Chainlink to provide direct on-chain fiat to crypto conversions for card holders. Now, you know, it's a lot of companies that can do this kind of thing already. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, crypto.com is already, you know, like set up for this type of thing. So is Coinbase. Coinbase they're actually set up for this type of thing too. Shout out to Russian Bot said he got mocked by a white cowboy in jail. Hey, you know what I'm saying? AB said the island boy said no matter. Yo, he actually threw in the towel. Somebody threw a towel in the ring, you know. So yeah, it said Chainlink and MasterCard have partnered to enable card users to buy crypto directly on chain through a secure fiat to crypto conversion. Zero Hash will supply compliance technology, while Swapper Finance, Shift4 Payments, XSwap, and the Uniswap protocol will support an intuitive user experience. There you go. AB Promotions. You see that? They're using the unicorn right there. Plenty of Visa and MasterCard partnerships aimed at making it easier for consumers to spend their crypto. Making it easier for consumers to spend their crypto. Shout out to the companies that make it easier for consumers to hold their crypto, right? These companies are trying to make it easy for you to spend your crypto so they can build their treasury on your crypto. That's my one good deed for the day. Anyone who makes it easy for you to spend your crypto is your enemy. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Anyone who makes it easy for you to spend your cryptocurrency is not your friend. They're your enemy. They are trying to make your cryptocurrency change hands into their hands. That is what they're doing. So just understand that. Don't get all excited about this. Keep your wallet closed. You know? Look. Act like you got some home training. Keep your wallet closed now. Keep your wallet closed. You ain't got to show everybody what you got. Keep your wallet closed. Act like your mama taught you something. Don't go around town, you know, just showing everybody what's in your wallet. Keep your wallet closed, you know. On Tuesday, Chainlink, that's actually not a bad price for Chainlink because they usually ride around $25. Said it was partnered with MasterCard to make it easier for users to buy crypto using their card, unlocking direct, compliant, and fully on-chain fiat to crypto swaps. Through the partnership, cardholders across the globe will be able to, quote-unquote, purchase crypto assets directly on-chain through a secure fiat to crypto conversion, Chainlink and MasterCard said in a statement. And, of course, I'm almost 100% certain they will also have the inverse of that available, right? Shout out to Leonard. What's good with it, bro? They will more than likely have the inverse of that available. AB said my ninja Charleston White footwork was pretty solid. Yeah, he was moving around. he definitely was moving around. I'm not gonna take that away from him. He was definitely moving around. I don't know if it was the camera angle, but his head, I don't know if it was his haircut or what, but like his head was shaped weird. Somebody said that he was built like an alien, and his head looked like Squidward's head. Like, I don't know, he had that weird like dip in the middle of it. Like, I was like, oh, okay. No wonder he always be wearing a hat. You know what I'm saying? The move is designed to remove long-standing barriers that have kept mainstream users from accessing the on-chain economy. A lot of people just kind of want to hold their cryptocurrency. A lot of people are not really looking to spend. Let me ask you guys this question. How many of you all are looking to give your cryptocurrency to these people? Your hard-earned crypto. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. If you're one of these people that's willing to give your cryptocurrency to these people, stop. Stop right now. The Streamelements bot will put my Cash App in the chat. Give your cryptocurrency to me if you want to give it to anybody. Okay? If you are one of these people that is just dying to give your cryptocurrency away, hit the Cash App link when it comes up in the chat and just give me your crypto. Since you want to give your crypto to somebody. I mean, why give it to Visa and MasterCard? Give it to me. You know what I'm saying? The vast majority of Visa and MasterCard crypto partnerships to date have been designed around issuing a branded card that allows people to effortlessly spend the crypto they are holding in a particular digital wallet through fiat conversions. And the reason why they want to do this is because they want to shave off a little bit of crypto and use that shaved crypto to build up their crypto treasury. That's what they want to do. People want to be able to easily connect the digital assets ecosystem and vice versa, said MasterCard Executive Vice President of Blockchain and Digital Assets, Raj Damodaran, in a statement. We're unlocking a secure and innovative way to revolutionize on-chain commerce and drive the broader adoption of cryptocurrency, broader adoption of crypto assets. Shout out to AB. AB said, you want Sam Bankman-Fried me. Listen, look, hey, so let's talk about Sam Bankman-Fried actually. How many people have heard that FTX is actually paying back, you know, the people that lost money with the FTX situation? Me personally, you ask me, a lot of early crypto people are in jail. And now there's companies that are doing what those crypto companies were doing when they first came out. And the reason a lot of the crypto people are in jail is because just like marijuana, crypto is the marijuana of money. The government had to figure out a way to finesse and utilize crypto to benefit itself. Once the government figured that out and perfected it, then they said, look, we have this wonderful new thing for you called cryptocurrency. They even got stable coins, right? It's the same game the government plays all the time with anything. We got to figure out a way to exploit it and utilize it till its maximum potential. We got to be the first ones to do it, and we got to control everybody else's use of it. Once we figure that out, now let's roll it out so that everybody can go into debt. That's what they do. Right? That's what they do. If you agree, give me a thumbs up. You disagree, give me a thumbs down. That's what they do. All right? Over 3 billion cardholders. Now, listen, from what I understand, that boy Sam Bankman-Fried and his girlfriend, they knew how to party. You know what I'm saying? From what the New York Post showed, They knew how to party over there at FTX. Shout out to them. I hope they partied like it was their last, because it was. To make it possible for over 3 billion cardholders in the MasterCard user base to use their card to buy crypto. And see, they keep switching it. We're going to use the card to buy crypto. Then we're going to make it easy for you to spend your crypto. They want your crypto. Now, shout out to the crypto.com people. How many people saw it? There's a staking campaign for Solana. You got to have an average of $200 staked for, I think, like an 80-day period. And there is also a app. There's a app promotion for Bitcoin. If anybody saw that, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. And speaking of thumbs up, thumbs down, shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. All right. So yeah, this is what's going on. Visa and MasterCard, they're trying to get into the game, utilizing these stable coins, and they're gonna do this cross-chain thing with Chainlink. All right. Now, shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love. Please throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat for Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen supplied us with this wonderful article. All right. She's trying to make us great out here. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen for being a great maker. Right. Ripple IPO could break records. Deaton predicts $100 billion valuation. I don't know if it's going to get to $100 billion valuation, but I think that Ripple is going to do very well when they when they do their IPO. Ripple is one of those companies. Ripple is like a MAGA favorite. They're not going to let Ripple fail. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. The Trump administration is not going to let Ripple fail. Ripple is like one of the pets, like one of the pets of the Trump administration. He's not going to let them fail. So when the Ripple IPO does occur, I'm definitely buying some Ripple. And I got the feeling that when the Ripple IPO occurs, XRP token will probably have a nice little bump in price too. I've seen some wild XRP future valuations. I again, I buy XRP. Some of these XRPs future value, I'm hearing like wild price predictions, like in 2 years, $100 a coin. Like, I don't know how they're getting to those numbers. I don't know. Again, I'm buying XRP. I've had XRP for a long time. I had XRP since the first time it went to 380. I don't $100 XRP. People are saying crazy stuff. $5 and $10 Cardano. I don't know, man. I don't know if I see that in the future for XRP or like Cardano. Maybe with some significant ETF inflows. What do you guys think? How realistic do you think that is? I don't think it's impossible, and I think that XRP and Cardano and all those tokens, I think those are going to do. They're going to do really well, and I'm going to continue to buy them. Shout out to Da Vinci, right? Da Vinci said, get rid of your XRP. I got rid of a lot of my XRP the first time when it was 380, and I still got some, and I'm still buying more. I don't know about those price predictions though. Those wild like $100 price predictions. The $10 Cardano. I could see like a $20 SUI swap before a $10 XRP. But maybe with the IPO and, then the stable coin, who knows? Regardless, I'm still buying XRP. I've heard this number. Shout out to the Modern Investor because he talked about this in a video and I saw an article about this. They're making the comparison to 10,000 XRP to like similar to having one Bitcoin. And I've heard people say that you want to have 10,000 XRP. That's a lot of XRP. You know what I'm saying? I've heard have 1,000 XRP. I calculated have 1,000 XRP. Having 10, if you didn't buy XRP like way back in the day when it was like $20, or I'm sorry, when it was like 25 cents for like 10 years. I don't know. I don't know about like just dropping $20,000 on XRP. I don't know how I feel about that. Me personally, like I would be more likely to drop 20. If I was going to just drop $20,000, I would drop $20,000 on Bitcoin. I don't know if I would do it on XRP. I don't know if I would do it on Cardano. Like I don't know. That's a lot of money to just drop one. Just like I don't know. Now dollar cost averaging. If you build your reserves up to that much, I could see that. I don't know. Like that would $100 XRP would put XRP's market cap at like a wild amount of money. I think it might like be like more than Bitcoin at that point. Because how much? No, it wouldn't be more than Bitcoin because Bitcoin has what a $2.5 trillion market cap. I think how many? They said 40 billion XRP. There's 40 billion XRP. So if XRP was at $100, well, what would that would be 4 trillion. They'll put XRP's value at 4 trillion at $100. By that time, Bitcoin will probably be like 20 trillion. Bitcoin to hit the gold market cap. I don't know though. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not telling anybody to not buy XRP or anything like that. I don't know about dropping no $20,000 at once on XRP. I don't know about dropping $20,000 down at one time on anything. That's not how I invest. You know what I'm saying? But now here says pro XRP attorney John E. Deaton reignited speculation over a Ripple initial public offering late on Monday, arguing on X that the timing is now a big factor. Deaton noted that stablecoin issuer Circle's public float has shown what deep liquid U.S. equity markets will tolerate and suggested that if Circle can command a $62 to $75 billion market cap, then Ripple could even surpass a $100 billion valuation. I know Brad Garlinghouse said Ripple is not in a rush to go public. They certainly don't need to raise capital, which is often a primary reason to go public. But timing an IPO is also a big consideration. If Circle can hit a $62 billion to $75 billion market cap, then Ripple, with nearly 40 billion XRP currently valued at $2, i.e. $80 billion, could certainly hit $100 billion market cap in this environment, Deaton wrote via X. His comments dropped just days after Ripple opened a $700 million tender offer that prices private shares at $175, a 135% premium to recent secondary trading on Hive and nearly triple the $65 tender executed 2 summers ago. So there's people that already own like some private shares of Ripple. Hey, shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, we at Strange Invest. Hey, Carlton said, we at Strange Investments would put $20,000 on XRP. Bro, I'm dead. We at Strange Investment will we will put $100,000 on Capybara, man. What are you talking about, bro? We putting $100,000 on Capybara. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go ahead and hit them losses. Come on, let's go. We're going to tank that all the way down to zero. We about to make a zero disappear off that 20. It's going to turn into 2,000. Oh man. The latest price implies an equity valuation of roughly $25 billion for the 141 million shares outstanding. January's buyback had cleared at $125, underscoring how quickly insiders are marking the company higher. Internal deal documents circulated with the offer to show $3.7 billion in cash, zero debt, and 41 billion XRP on the balance sheet. Assets worth about 94 billion at spot, or 47 billion using a 50% haircut. For now, though, management insists liquidity events are simply housekeeping. IPO is not a priority, CEO Brad Garlinghouse told shareholders in the tender offer email that accompanied the latest buyback. However, regulatory overhang could be the main gating factor. In March, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission withdrew its appeal of Judge Annalisa Torres' 2023 ruling that pragmatic XRP sales are not securities, a move Garlinghouse hailed as a long overdue surrender. The agency and Ripple then negotiated a framework to dissolve the remaining injunction and split a previously imposed $125 million penalty, with $75 million returning to Ripple's treasury and $50 million going to the SEC. That joint motion was filed on June 13 and awaits Torres' sign-off. An earlier $50 million proposal was bounced in May for procedural defects, but the latest submission is widely expected to close the book on the 5-year litigation. Deaton's $100 billion figure rests on treating Ripple's XRP escrow as de facto asset base and assuming public investors will capitalize it at or even above spot value. That approach departs from how Wall Street valued Circle, whose June 4th New York Stock Exchange debut raised $1.1 billion at a $6.9 billion equity valuation, though roughly $62 billion in US dollar circulates on chain. Okay. Skeptics point out that Circle's tokens are liabilities, not residual assets, and that public market investors have historically resisted paying dollar for dollar for native coins held by an issuer. Nevertheless, even excluding the escrow entirely, Ripple's cash, securities, and operating income already underpin a double-digit billion valuation that could expand sharply if Ripple remains over $2.15. Now, again, I plan on if XRP goes public, I'm absolutely going to buy some XRP stock. My question to everybody watching, shout out to you guys. If XRP goes public, do you plan to buy some XRP? If you plan to buy some XRP, give me a thumbs up. If you do not plan to buy some XRP, give me a thumbs down. We will definitely be tracking the price of that along with, some of these other companies like Circle. Could Ripple top Coinbase's record? If Ripple were to float at a fully diluted $100 billion, it would eclipse Coinbase's $86 billion landmark direct listing in April of 2021 and set a new high watermark for a crypto native equity listing. Deaton's thesis thus frames a potential record breaker at the intersection of two forces: a legal diente that removed the core regulatory discount and a still expanding XRP treasury whose mark-to-market value increasingly dwarfs Ripple's current private share price. Judge Torres' decision on the June 13th motion is the next catalyst. If she signs off, Ripple will emerge from the SEC saga with both a leaner penalty and a courtroom vindication it can take on the roadshow circuit. Garlinghouse has repeatedly said the company is not in a rush, but the tender off terms expire July 9th, and investors will parse any subsequent corporate filings or NASDAQ private market communications for hints of a registration statement. At press time, XRP traded at $2 and basically 17 cents. All right. So we will definitely be following the XRP news. XRP is definitely one of the quality cryptocurrencies that is absolutely on our buy list, right? Shout out to AB. AB said, Rob, was that the coin you were talking about that no matter what happened, the price never changed? Nah, that was Loaded Lions. Loaded Lions, the 24-hour volume on Loaded Lions never changes. Shout out to Carlton. Let's take a look at this. I was about to end the stream, but we about to take a look at this. Make sure y'all show Carlton some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat for Carlton for dropping that article. Carlton knew I was about to get off the computer. You know what I'm saying? He knew he knew I was about to bounce. So make sure y'all show Carlton some love, because this stream was about to be ove. And here comes Carlton with this link. Shout out to Carlton. Also, if you guys haven't hit the like button, please do me that favor. Hit the like button. Also, I want to ask you guys this question. I recently posted a standalone video, and I was curious, how would you all like me to post more just like videos like that? Not only for this channel, but for like all the channels. If that's something that you guys are interested in, let me know, okay? Because I had a little bit of extra time on my hands. I was like, let me just go ahead and make a video real quick. Because y'all know I don't be feeling like it. I don't have the same motivation that I used to. But if I can make some videos and it contributes to me being able to buy more Bitcoin, I might be able to meet you halfway. I might be able to meet you halfway. All right. XRP Ledger co-founder Arthur Brito breaks 14-year silence on X. What does it mean? Arthur Brito, co-founder of the XRP Ledger, broke a 14-year silence on X with a cryptic emoji, fueling speculation in the crypto community. Brito has remained an enigmatic figure in crypto, rarely appearing in public despite his crucial role in developing XRP and its protocol. They probably had him in a lab somewhere. Brito's post coincided with key developments in XRP, like a surge in transaction volume, prompting theories about upcoming technological upgrades or partnerships. People always come up with wild conspiracy theories. People come up with these wild conspiracy theories, and then they turn around and say that the conspiracy theories that they came up with are a quote-unquote distraction. Have you all ever experienced? If you've experienced that, give me a thumbs up. If you've never experienced that, then give me a thumbs down. Yeah, people are this is a distraction. Everything's a distraction. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why people say that all the time. It's just, like, there's distractions all over the place. Some people say Bitcoin is a distraction. A distraction from what? What are we distracted from? What are people's focuses, quote unquote, supposed to be? The only thing that people should focus on is selling their Bitcoin back to the market so we can buy it all up. That's what they should be focused on. Sell your Bitcoin. Sell it. Give it away so we can buy it. People should buy Bitcoin at the highest prices and hold it for 2 weeks. And when they see that they're not rich, sell it back immediately at a loss and tank the market. Tank the Bitcoin price all the way down to $100,000. Take it all the way down to $90,000 so we can buy it all back up cheap. That's what people need to do. Do you guys think that people should do that? I think that people should do that. That's what they're going to do anyway. Go ahead and flush yourself out. I should set up new merch. And on the new merch, I should make a shirt with a toilet on it. And we'll call that shirt the Flush Out Gang. Shout out to John Guillory. John Guillory said the PBC say it all the time. Facts. It's a distraction. Okay. Everything's a distraction. Sure. I'm distracted. This live stream is a distraction. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, if you don't sell your Bitcoin, your computer will shut off. Y2K scare tactics for retail. Bro, facts. Yes. Okay, I got a confession. Is everybody ready? Yes. Cryptocurrency is the mark of the beast. Okay, now sell it all back quickly. Quickly sell it all back. Hurry up. What's taking so long? Sell it all back. Brito, who joined X in August of 2011, suddenly posted on June 23rd, 2025, fueling many theories. Market watchers believe his unexpected reappearance is not random and could signal something significant in the network. Maybe he just unlocked his password. Like maybe he was locked out for the entire time. Arthur Brito is one of the original architects behind the XRP ledger, alongside developers David Schwartz and Jed McCaleb. Brito played a crucial role in creating the XRPL as an alternative to Bitcoin, addressing issues like energy-intensive mining and scalability. Brito has remained largely out of the public eye despite his significant contributions. He has never given interviews, appeared in photographs, or participated in public forums, making him one of the most mysterious figures in crypto. Maybe he actually just has a life. Akin to the enigmatic creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto. Some even believe that Brito could be Satoshi. See, now here we go. Here we go with this nonsense. Hey, here we go. Hey, here we go with this stupidity. Maybe he's Satoshi Nakamoto. Shut up. So private that he's one of my dark horse candidates for being Satoshi. I mean, why? What evidence is there that he's Satoshi? Like, here we go. Even listen, they appear in all walks of life. That's all I got to say. They appear in all walks of life. Crypto is not immune. It's not immune. Moreover, the secrecy, and again, maybe it's not secrecy. Like maybe dude just like is not into being on social media all the time. We live in this world where everybody feels that they have to be on social media, and all currency is attention currency, and just like a bunch of weird stuff. Maybe he's just not into it like that. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton says Carlton says sound like something I would say, right? The crypto Illuminati, that boy Satoshi Nakamoto right there. Like, come on, man. That's not Satoshi Nakamoto, I can't stand people. I can't stand people, man. I can't stand. This is why I call this is why I call humanity. I refuse to call humanity anymore. This is why I call it the human animal. This is why I call it the human animal. Because somebody doesn't post on social media is evidence that they're Satoshi. Man, I can't with this. I can't with it. Look, shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, hell, one of y'all might be Satoshi. Right. Look, that's just proof. This is proof the cryptocurrency is just like any other crypto community. The crypto community is just like any other community. They have their extremists. You got Bitcoin Maximus. You got these Satoshi weirdos. You know, look, shout out to Alonda. Alonda said maybe he's similar to Arthur Hayes. He's chasing supermodels in tennis skirts. I'm not mad at that. That's that right there, right? That's a productive use of your time. Go ahead, handle that. Shout out to John Giller. John Giller said, "Nah, my brother." Right? Look at this. Look at this. Now you just got it going crazy. This person right here says, "David, are you Arthur Brito as well?" You know, and then this David said, "I'll just take credit for his idea." Moreover, the secrecy has even ignited rumors questioning his existence. I mean, like now you just don't exist. Like if you don't post on like you just don't exist. With some suggesting he may not be a real person, all because he doesn't post frequently on social media. However, it seems highly unlikely that Brito is a false identity. David Schwartz has mentioned Brito multiple times. I mean, this is how things just. I mean, this is how things just spiral. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said, "You got me. I didn't want to say anything, but you know." Shout out to John. John said, "Nah, my brother, the real Satoshi is black." Surprise, surprise. Yo, that's hilarious. Hey, they're gonna get mad like they got mad at that samurai. They're gonna get mad. They're gonna get mad like they got mad at that samurai. Shout out to AB. AB said, "Y'all remember in the movie Life when Bernie says, I'll be the pappy, I'll be Satoshi Nakamoto." Hey, they need to rename him Yoshi Satoshi. I'll be Yoshi Satoshi. That's what Martin would call him. Martin would definitely call Satoshi Nakamoto Yoshi Satoshi. Remember when they had that episode about the TV and they was all bowing to the TV talking about, "Oh, Hashitashi." Y'all remember that? It was like, "Oh, Hashitashi." Y'all remember that? Hey, that's when them big screen TVs were like life-threatening. I'm surprised that nobody like drop a big screen TV on themselves and then delete themselves back in the day. Those big screen TVs, if them bad boys had it tipped over, you're done. You're done. It's not even a question. You're not surviving that. So now here it says, in fact, a document between Chris Larson, McCaleb, and Brito was making rounds on crypto Twitter in early June. The document also legitimizes his identity. I mean, how? Is it a driver's license or something? Like, signed on September 17th, 2012, this agreement between Chris Larson, Jed McCaleb, and Arthur Brito confirms that Brito received 2% of all XRP, then called Ripple credits, and more importantly, it gave him lifetime rights to build on the Ripple protocol without needing permission, the Post read. I mean, that doesn't really confirm anything except for nothing. That episode was hilarious. Every episode of Martin was hilarious, bro. But that was really funny. The Hashitashi. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's dumb. In the comments, Schwartz confirmed that he was still in contact with Brito. Still, given Brito's long-standing silence and the mystery surrounding his public absence, his recent post stirred the XRP community. This is all it takes to stir people. Some members even questioned whether his account had been compromised. Maybe it was compromised and that's why he didn't post. However, Schwartz clarified that the post was real and not a security breach. How? I can confirm that this was a hack or not or this was not a hack or compromise, he said. How can you confirm that? Like, I'm just gonna say this, and so it shall be. Like, how? What could Arthur Brito's return signal for XRP's future? Who knows? I mean, he might write some code and then disappear into the shadows. Like, I don't. Who knows? Look at this. Look at this. This is that insanity that I'm talking about. Another user outlined Brito's ambitious vision for XRP. This included reaching a $10,000 price and creating a ledger capable of supporting 8 billion people. A $10,000 price? A $10,000 XRP? Hey, I'm along for the ride, man. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but please believe me, if it does happen, I'm going to be holding some XRP. Meanwhile, Brito's first post with over 2,000 comments and 3,000 reposts on his inactive account has sparked speculation among the XRP community about what this could mean. John Squire highlighted Brito's post strategic timing, noting that it coincides with several key developments, including record on-chain volume. The rumors surrounding Ripple going public and pre-bull market conditions further suggest a pattern. Yeah, this idea of XRP going to $10,000 is interesting. Hey, hey, listen. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said the market cap would have to be in the trillions for that to happen. Yeah. Hey, and listen, if it does, hey, let's get it. Right? Let's get it. I'm definitely down with $10,000 XRP. Yeah, you know me. Right? So shout out to everybody. I really appreciate each and every one of you all coming and checking out the stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please take a moment, hit that bell icon twice, subscribe to the channel, share the stream to your social media. All right. Make sure that you share it with friends who are already on board with crypto and invested in crypto. Because remember, this is not a sales channel. We don't care whether you buy crypto or not. We don't care. As a matter of fact, what we would actually prefer you do is buy it and then sell it so that we can get it and you tank the market price down for us. So yeah, there's that, right? That's what we're working with right now. And yeah, I'm gonna do more of those short videos across all the channels. So, and we'll be talking about some other things too. Shout out to the Discord. If you're not part of the Discord, take a moment, hit that link, join the Discord. Shout out to the stream sponsors. Make sure y'all show the stream sponsors some love, because without them, there's no streams. Shout out to Karen. Make sure y'all show Karen some love. Shout out to TD. Make sure y'all show TD some love. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
run for it, run. Yeah, hey, okay, I'm fresh up out the package. Sign my deal, I pay my dues. Affiliated to this paper, I need freedom for my family line. Draw my life design up like fine art. I'm jumping off just an unfamiliar coordinates. Hopped off the porch like I could touch the sky. Red is not one trill. The ism talk the water out your faucet. Look at me flossing, I'm so wavy, I could change the tide. My intuition sense the hatred in your ways. You imitated, forging lines, claim meaning means that's just to justify. Yeah, right. West side, born maritime. Creole baby, my bloodline. My lungs clouded, my thoughts crowded. Say all I see is these dollar signs. Finna make a play and that sound delay. On mamas, I testify. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Game recognized game. I'm from the Bay, okay, I'm versatile and my slang is different. I'm lane switching with the same people that I came up in this thing with. My head swivel, I'm homebound, got a target back on my backside. The cat peeling with the cast iron, better run for it, run before I catch you. Niggas out ball it, block. Trying to stop my blessing. Gamble with your life, don't bet it, don't bet it. They can't stop my blessing. You do best not to test it. Yeah, you right. Real all in my blood supply. Take it ball up top, finna make a play. I cast a lob like I'm Jalen, baby. No co-signer, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission, it's a dollar sign. If I say it twice, then I meant it right.
My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission, it's a dollar sign. You know, cosign and no co-pilot. They pip-tiles, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission, it's a dollar sign.
Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds.